to Solo Beauty Supply, the largest Black-owned beauty supply in Chicago. We carry a large selection of natural hair care products, plus much more. So come see us at one of our two locations, located at 9011 South Ashland or 8158 South Cottage Grove. Our inventory is growing, and with your support, Solo Beauty will continue to be a source of pride in our community.
Well, sometimes I go out by myself and I look across the water, and I think of all the things, what you're doing, and in my head I paint a picture. Since I've come home, well, my body's been a mess, and I miss your ginger hair and the way you like to dress. But won't you come on over? Stop making a fool out of me. Why don't you come on over, Did you have to go to jail? Put your house on up for sale? Did you get a good lawyer? I hope you didn't catch a tan. I hope you find the right man who'll fix it for you. And are you shopping anywhere? Change the color of your hair. Are you busy? And did you have to pay this fine that you've been dodging all the time? Are you still dizzy? Oh, yeah. Since I come home, well, my body's been a mess, and I miss your ginger hair and the way you like to dress. Won't you come on over? Oh, stop making a fool out of me. Why don't you come on over there? Valerie.
Oh, yeah, show me his face. Oh,
well, sometimes I go out by myself and I look across the water, and I think of all the things, what you're doing. In my head I paint a picture. Since I've come home, well, my body's been a mess, and I miss your ginger hair and the way you like to dress. Won't you come on over? Stop making a fool out of me. Why don't you come on over, why don't you come on over,
WIFTDPM.
Uh-oh, what's in it for the black people?
Boy.
For Ruthie Moore, for Ty Stroger, I am the host of the Mace Jackson Show, asking every single day, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them Mace said, Mayor Lightfoot, man, we ain't accepting that. We ain't accepting that. Let's go.
I got a mean with Drink Slam. Oh, we live.
Yeah. Let's get down to business and go ahead and address the facts, man. Lightfoot seems more lesbian than black. Rahm Emanuel's another case. He was just as tired. 50 closed schools left much to be desired. Police had Anjanette naked on that body cam. They suppressed the footage so it couldn't touch a lot of hands. Reminds me of that 16 shots in that cover up. Both of them similar, so I went and dug it up. George Floyd killed, a lot of riots happened in the town. Southside burned and they wouldn't let them bridges down. Grandmother sick, need a prescription and plus a couple groceries. You gon' have to travel just to get it now. COVID-19 out here shutting all the business down. Not enough SBA loans to even give around. So many failed businesses that you could put them in the pile. If you don't survive the pandemic, it's gon' sit you down. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. Shout out to Willie Wilson, hope one day you get to send it. We need some different players in the game to handle business. Too many shady characters like Madigan and Blotto. But when you really break it down, it's typical Chicago. City full of gangsters, it's what the land was built on. Same streets with hood legends, DNA get spilled on. Carjackers out here lurking, trying to get they steal on. Looking for a block to put them Hellcat wheels on. Let us give bogus appraisals a red line. Car crackers out here getting minimal fair time. And up to seal carry, I stay with the pipe. But Illinois gun laws giving minimal rights. Stay up on the swivel, make sure I'm moving tight. Check all of my mirrors when I pull up to the light. Pick my homie up from out of town, man, he caught a flight. He was hella nervous, told him, shorty, this a way of life. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks.
Kind of loud. Wake up, Chicago! Wake up, world. This is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm going to have to talk a little loud. Ruthie, I'm going to have you turn on the mic because maybe not. That's it. I did a pre-program. What's the matter? You saying we not live or something?
I don't know.
I'm live. Happened? I'm showing live right here. It's the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host. Uh-oh. There we go. We back. Wait. Uh-oh. It's the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my girl, Ruthie Moore. Don't got DJ Riis. Ruthie, how you gonna be late on Friday and on Monday? Look, you ain't trying to participate. That's all right, though. It's all right, people be.
Listen, he had a tough weekend.
How you know? You was there?
I saw Riis.
Where you see Riis?
Working.
Where? At Silver?
I can't tell you where I saw him at, but he was working hard.
Dag. So everybody else. So I lose because of the other people.
Oh, you don't lose. He just probably overexerted himself.
Millennials. How do you overexert yourself?
He was lifting and moving.
Amen. I'm just telling y'all. Okay, it's the Maze Jackson Show. I know. It's all right. You go to tell me. It's okay. All right. Look, y'all. It is the Maze Jackson Show. It's Monday after the weekend. It's been a long weekend. It wasn't actually a long weekend. We didn't have a longer weekend than normal. But wait a minute. I got ads popping up on my stuff and everything. All right. I ain't going to trip because I did get a check.
Oh,
yeah, but it was like $80. I was like, But anyway, it's every little bit helps. Look, y'all, it is the Maze Jackson Show. We are here on Monday, July 18th, 2022. Back in the building to start another week with you. And I am in the building with my girl, Ruthie Moore, who is sipping on her coffee with a hoodie and a jacket on. Okay, I walked out the house like this. And I did go outside first. And we don't even have the air on.
It ain't chilly out there to you.
No.
That's because you cold-blooded.
I'm cold-blooded. I am cold-blooded. Did you know if you cold-blooded, you get sicker quick? You know, you gotta get like on a hot rock or something, so you could keep your body temperature cool. I used to have a lizard.
I was about to say you sound like a salamander or something.
My son had a lizard, and his name was Godzilla. And Godzilla, you know, he's like when my son went home, he was in my son's room, and my son would always be like, "Dad, you keep it too cold in here for Godzilla. He got cold blood." So Godzilla had to get a hot rock, so he could lay on the rock to stay cool, stay hot. And then in the summertime, he'd be in the pool, sitting in the water. I was like, "What kind of lizard is this?"
Well taken care of.
Man, please. I think it's still. We buried it outside when he died in a casket and everything. It's dug up. I'm like, one day somebody's gonna dig up this box, and it's only like in about.
It's a time capsule.
Well, you open up that castle, it's gonna stink. All right, y'all. It's the Mace Jackson Show. I'm your host, Mace Jackson. Got my girl Ruthie Moore in the building. Ruthie Moore, dressed for winter. How you feeling today? Besides winter wear,
You know it be chilly in here.
Ruthie, it's hot. I literally don't have the air on. I'm about to.
I know you go, but see, as soon as you blast it, guess what's gonna happen to me?
What?
It's gonna feel regular.
So you know how are you? See, I see you sweating though.
No,
Yes, you are.
Mace.
Is that
Mace.
glisten on your forehead? That's
Vaseline.
Vaseline.
Mace, you
That
will
lotion.
never see me sweat.
Ruthie.
Never let them see you sweat.
Ruthie.
If you ain't in the gym, keep it together.
So what you do? You use antiperspirant?
Nope. This is actually the glow of coconut oil.
Coconut oil. You don't cook with coconut oil. You like I
Actually,
say?
yes, I do.
Ugh. It don't even seem right. The same one you put on your skin?
Yep, of course. I wouldn't put something on my skin if it
it's not
don't
edible.
go on my body. Exactly.
So wait a minute. So okay. So you put So do you use the same one? Do you go in the kitchen and get dressed and be like, "Give me some of that"?
No, I transfer it into a jar and keep it in the bathroom.
But the same one.
Yes, but wow, that's weird. You don't want to cross-contaminate your stuff.
I'm saying I don't want to eat nothing that.
Got to keep your cooking stuff separate from your bathroom body stuff.
Right,
Pretty much the same stuff. You put in your hair, you put it on your body. Olive oil.
olive oil.
You got your kitchen olive oil and your body olive oil.
Oh my God, you are really an earthling. But olive oil,
I just feel like it's just certain stuff.
cold press, or is it cold press olive
That's
oil,
funny.
or is it?
Nah, don't take it that far.
I only use cold press.
That's what you be putting. You put Vaseline, you put petroleum on yourself.
You see my
Yeah,
cologne?
until you see one of them commercials. Did you use petroleum jelly on your
I'm
face?
70 years. I'm 60 years in now. It's 50 years in. It's like if it's going, it got me. I'm going. All right, y'all. It's the Mace Jackson Show. I'm your host, Mace Jackson. Got my girl Ruthie Moore in the building. We do not have DJ Riis, but it's okay. He'll be here shortly. He sent me a text. You know when you don't want to answer the phone, so you respond with a text. Cause I called in the text I call, you respond with a text. Overslept. I was like,
Yeah, I mean, he didn't want to waste. He didn't want to waste your time with a call back. You can read that text at your convenience. And he was thinking about you.
No. He was thinking, let me just wait till I get here.
I ain't even trying to hear what he got
Yeah, I
to
don't
say.
want to hear this name. I'm already late. And I hear this mother talk about, I don't want to hear his voice talk about some. But I don't even want to say nothing. Except for,
What you gonna say? You gonna say something?
I'm glad you could join us. I feel a certain way. I be feeling like, make new friends, but keep the old. One is silver, another's gold. I remember singing that at the Nazarene church. You never heard that? Make new friends, but keep the old. One is silver and the other's gold.
I like that.
Right? Like you gotta. Anyway, it's the Mace Jackson Show. I'm your host, Mace Jackson. Got my girl Ruthie Moore. We are in the building. We can't take the soul plane off because we ain't got a pilot. Actually, I'm the pilot, but we gotta have a wingman or engine man. So we gonna wait for DJ Riis to get here. In the meantime, I'm gonna say what's up, Ruthie. I said what's up to you. How was your weekend?
Long.
Dang, hater. Don't you like long weekends?
No, long in the sense of, woo, that's a long weekend. Not
Like,
long, like,
woo!
woo, I had a long weekend.
Wait, Ruthie, I thought you lived for the weekend.
I do.
So
But I had to, work. It's a long weekend.
I was going to where was you working at, Ruthie?
See? That's why people don't be telling me stuff.
I didn't say nothing. You said content. I didn't say content. Shout out, though, because can I tell you what? Speaking of content, no bull.
That's funny.
Shout out to the Seaman Gamma Rose.
Ooh.
They had. I was like, dang, I wish I could have went to their boule. They had. No, I'm just saying they had rappers. They had MC Light. Kirk Franklin lost his luggage, and he still came and did the gospel show. They had Charlie Wilson. They said Too Short showed up.
Too Short.
Okay, first of all, he only could do blow the whistle.
No.
He didn't say.
He did that the monkey song for them.
Say it. Yeah, you. Can I ask you a question? Oh, see, y'all ain't even know.
I wonder if he did edited music.
He can't do. You can't edit Short's music. You can't. I mean, how do you edit? Yeah. You can't edit that. What'd you say? Snitch.
Yes.
I'm just saying. Did he take the stage? I do want to know if he took the stage.
Yes.
Too Short at 100.
That's what happened when you turn 100.
Man, I'm about to call our national president. I'm about to call the international. Then what's so crazy is, y'all thought y'all was slick. I seen all the fraternities up there talk about we were coming to represent. Man, y'all was up in the... Man, nah, but shout out to all the ladies of Sigma Gamma Rho. I must tell y'all looked wonderful. Your pictures were great. I know what it feels like to turn 100, and so I know y'all had to have a great time and celebrate. It was like it all came, boom, 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 boom. Next one up is the Zetas. No, wait. Hold on. I'm sorry. Excuse me. I apologize. Don't get me in trouble. I forgot, though, because it was... I don't say I forgot, but didn't they was pandemic. Mm-hmm. Man, Charlie, I must tell you, my centennial, boy, oh boy, oh boy. The centennial celebration of just seeing, like, from what you did in 100 years. And I it's like, there's rivalry and competition, but I did feel really good for the Sigma Gamma Rhos. They looked like they was genuinely, like, geeked up. Eric, I didn't know you was the state director. Y'all got rank around here. Do you know Erica? Do your sister know Erica? Asia, you know Erica. Erica, you know Asia. You better know because she your state director. Anyway, shout out to everybody who had a great time. Shout out to the AKAs who had their boule last week too in Orlando.
Oh yeah, Florida.
Yeah. So yeah, it was a good weekend for people. Shout out to everybody who went to the Silver Room block party. I was driving by like Ruthie. I feel itchy around crowds. I feel a certain way. Like I was like, man, I like, how you, I couldn't jump in. It was like went to the deep end, walked out to the edge of the diving board. I was like, I'm nervous.
Yeah, crowds, it's just a little bit of anxiety that sometimes comes with it in today's society.
Well, shout out to the Silver Room block party. I do feel kind of funny because I was like, one day they was like, bring a jacket. They was like, bring a jacket, and it was like, I feel like the bad part was it was so cloudy all weekend, you didn't get the downtown party on the beach with the view of the city of Chicago, because them pictures would have been off the chain. I swear to God, how did Abstract Mind State do? I seem like they blew up the deck. Did you see them? Okay.
I was
focused.
Yep.
Okay. The shout out to everybody at the Silver Room block party. Shout out to the men and women of the Epsilon Xi chapter and Nu Delta chapter of Sigma and Zeta. We had a cookout in which first of all, I want to have a bags tournament too.
Bags? What is that?
You call it cornhole.
Okay, that's what I thought you was referring to.
Bags. Black people call it bags. Kankakeans call it cornhole. You want cornhole? You go cornholing? I'm like, I don't even know how that sound, man. I'd be nervous if some country white guy said, yeah, let's go cornholing. Huh? I saw Deliverance. No, I'm not going nowhere. With you. Did you see Deliverance? What? Let me tell you. After seeing what's that mean?
I think somebody here.
And they knocking on the door?
He ain't knocking.
Okay. So I'm gonna tell you. So I wouldn't want to be cornholing, but I was playing bags. But so I actually watched a game of like a bags tournament on TV. I didn't really realize. I've never scored. I just been like, get it in the hole.
Mm-hmm.
But what is it? 3, 2, 1.
Maze.
What?
Now you know black people don't play like that.
Man, see, that's how I felt. And then I felt like one of my frat brothers, just because he wanted to beat me, was playing. But because all he was doing was trying to land it on the board.
Maze, he was employing Robert's Rules of Order in real life. Because he knew the rules.
Yep.
And he took it. And people who know the rules of cornhole, y'all know y'all ain't even right when y'all be trying to subtract and deduct.
Man.
Instead of just counting when it land in the hole.
Right. Look, I was like, bam! Bam! Dude was like this.
-2.
Right. Dude was like, he was just throwing them up in the air so they could land on the board. So I was trying to put him in the hole. Mickey throwing them on the board.
Who said his name?
Mickey was bogus. He know he bogus. You know, Mickey, like, I be feeling like it's certain people when you pledge them hard, they never forget and they be trying to beat you and everything.
I'm a one-up Maze.
Man, then they got me telling stories about how terrible of a hazer I was. And I was just like, it was
Probably caused post-traumatic stress.
Yes. Think about this. I'm going to have an international president at one point that is going to tell a brutal story about me and a pair of pliers.
Oh, my gosh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's like when people hear the story, they just wince. They just be like, oh, my God. Like, for real? For real? You did that? And I'd be thinking, like, I can't believe I did that. Like, if I thought about it now, I'd be like, wow. What was I drinking? Old English 800, because that was my brand. Drinking in a 40-ounce quarter can. But that is a whole nother thing. National Ice Cream Day was yesterday, too. Did you get some ice cream? Are you lactose?
I'm lactose.
Ah!
But I still like ice cream.
You have to give a warning?
No, I just,
Eat it by yourself? Eat it by myself in the car with the windows.
Give me some butter pecan.
Butter pecan. Yesterday I realized and I wanted ice cream and it was too late for me to go to Sean Michelle's. But I went to Margie's yesterday. It was like, you know what it was, Ruthie? Now that I think back to it, it was like one of them soda counters. Now that I'm looking at it, and now that I'm thinking about it, was you with me when I was talking about the white people from the 80s, from the 70s and stuff? Was you with me? When I was talking about the lady from Emmett Till who's still alive, who I think
Yep, that was on Friday, I think.
Ruthie. Now that I look back, I was just thinking, that's probably why they don't have a counter anymore. Oh, Sean Michelle's, y'all can't be closing early.
They do close early. I thought it was just me that felt that.
Come on, man. When I get ice cream, I want ice cream after dinner.
I kind of feel like a lot of stuff used to close at 9 or 10, but now everything closes at 7 or 8.
Or 6 or 7, because they don't want, man.
What's up with that? Is it staffing shortages?
It's that and it's these people coming up in your joint. You see, I mean, come on now. The rules are just not to, hey, man. Hey. You know, I'd be like, Big Swill be like, you sure you want to stay till 8? I'd be like, you got to stay there, dog.
But I mean, I can't even get no Potbelly's cookie after like 7 o'clock. Like, come on now.
If I was you, I'd be eating Cloud9 cookies. You choking on some Potbelly cookies. That's what your problem is.
You never had no Potbelly cookie?
Yeah.
They delicious.
It ain't delicious like Cloud 11.
It's not.
Cloud, you better stop it. You see this, Pops? You see this? I'm on here looking out. Big old sticker and everything. She around here talking about some Potbelly.
They got good cookies.
Yeah, but I bet your daddy can make better. Your daddy make caramel pecan bacon cookies. Can't tell you when they come out the oven.
What they be like?
Good night. I'd be like, I don't want to eat the whole thing, but it'd be so hot on the ice cream. When the ice cream be melting, this is what I was getting ready to do. Let me tell you. So yesterday was National Ice Cream Day. What I was going to do was make some ice cream and then crunch them up and drop them bad boys in it.
Oh.
And then freeze it. And then be sitting there like
a concrete shake thing.
No, like ice cream and cookies frozen. Like my own Ben and Jerry's.
I like Ben and Jerry's.
I did too.
I don't really like the ice cream be doing
you
too
like
much.
That concept.
You know, I like they content.
On the Ben and Jerry's ice cream though. I remember the first time I had some Ben and Jerry's. And I was like, this is not Fieldcrest.
What is that?
Exactly. The ice cream that we had in our house all the time. It was the Jewel brand that was the cheapest one on all the way on. And Tennille still eat Fieldcrest.
That was that Kemp's.
No, Kemp's ain't the bad. Is that the big tub? Mm-hmm. Okay, nah. That's the birthday cake ice cream. Now, that goes good with, like, white cake. Like, the birthday cake ice cream only goes good with ice cream. If you got it in your freezer for real, it's either good for that or it's good for when you summertime and you be like, can I get ice cream cone? And they make it. But beyond that, I don't want no parts of that. But now I'm a gourmet ice cream connoisseur.
Oh, excuse us.
Yes. Me, Anthony Muhammad, too. Brother Anthony be texting me like, did you see the Banana Foster's Haagen-Dazs that came out? I was like, nah, but have you tried the salty caramel from Jenny's?
Oh, y'all ice cream snobs.
Yes. You know, and sometimes I don't like when people put, like, sometimes there's an extra extract. And if you don't use, like, sometimes I'm a particular on ingredients. And so, like, when you get that ice cream, I could tell when people put, like, the cheap vanilla in it as compared
Probably
to
the artificial vanilla.
Yes.
Versus the
Madagascar.
like vanilla bean.
Yes.
I'm with you.
Yeah, I be putting vanilla in my ice cream. I scrape the beans in, then I put the thing in there, so you gotta chew on it when it's in there. When you get it out your ice cream, it be like all natural.
Oh, okay.
All right, let me see what else. Did y'all see what happened downtown this weekend? Okay. Okay. Did I tell y'all about the one time when I was on 290 and the cars, like all the Chargers, stopped the traffic and spent out and was spinning out from Morgan all the way to to Ashland. They just had it all, and they was donuts and what they call it, gliding. So yesterday, or on Saturday night, they got these videos that are all over social media of they stopped traffic downtown on Jefferson and Adams or Monroe, blocked off all four intersections, and then did a car show spinning out wheel.
Oh, wow.
Like, could you imagine if you was trying to get somewhere? Rap is out of control. Chicago is. I guess it is what it is, but I do feel like, whoa.
Was it like a Charger show?
Yes. And I felt like all the people standing around there, like, are y'all concerned that this car could just knock y'all ass out, though?
Well, you don't be seeing them videos. That's part of the fun. It's like being in a mosh pit.
Y'all need to watch The Boys then. Because if you ever seen what could happen to a person when you get hit by a car for real, yeah, nah. I just was like, I can't. Like, how do we just, I don't know.
You know, if you put together a group of people, you can pretty much do whatever you want. If it's enough people. Now, they eventually probably going to get you. But if you got enough people, especially when it come to like motorcycles and stuff, because I done seen them on the expressway stop the whole traffic just so they can do their stuntery.
Yes. That I have seen that too.
And I mean, police can't do nothing.
Right, because what you going to do with a mob of motorcycles?
You going to hit them?
Man, I be thinking motorcycle people be real cavalier to be completely exposed. Because I tell you, the one time I saw a real crazy motorcycle accident, it made me almost say I don't ever want to. That's why I don't even drive my motorcycle now. But this dude was cutting in between traffic. And he was he was gone. Man, all of a sudden, all I just see is just a big red streak. And you just saw it like he was like mosh pit. Then one time me and Big Swill was on Madison. And we was on Washington and we was on Washington and like a little bit away, maybe 2 blocks up from Pulaski. And this dude had this girl was just ran outside and jumped on this guy's bike. Because you know how girls just be wanting to ride on the back of bikes. And so dude popped on. Man, by the time we came around the corner, she was dead because she had flown off his bike and hit a parking meter. He had a helmet and everything. He was straight. The bike was busted up, but she was like, she literally went over the front and her face smashed and she died from a parking meter.
Whoa.
And I was just like, man. motorcycle people be acting like they are invincible. It's a wonderful feeling, but it is truly, it's like when I ride, my heart is like at 1,000,000 because I feel like, God, at any moment.
I mean, I think people used to have more respect for motorcycles.
Woo!
But nowadays, I think we live in a society where
anybody can get it.
And you just never know what type of day somebody is having. And so motorcycles, they get real bold and bad with cutting people off and weaving in and out. I mean, but I
always just think like, dog, it's you versus a car.
It's like they be playing chicken.
With their own life, though. Because I'm the person, I promise you, and I feel like sometimes people be salty. Like when you do stuff like that, when you can cut in and out and you won't obey the... And I feel like I've seen people stop. Right? It's all right. So y'all be careful out there on them motorcycles and on them bikes. Let me see what else. Oh, and then this is my last thing. So... And this is going to go into a lot of other stuff I'm going to talk about. I've been on one, but have you... So this thing with all the white people taking pictures with black people right now that have been participatory in some bull crap against black people, it's really starting to irritate me. Like, I get tired of looking at people like, look, I did some bull, so now let me take some pictures with all my black friends. Like, do your black friends know that you...
Probably not.
Right, but you become the prop. Again, I'm tired of black people being props in white pictures for people that are causing harm to black people intentionally. And then the whole concept of then taking the picture, posting the picture like, look, I've got black friends, because you know the black people that you live next door to or that you interact with are like, you a racist son of a gun. But what you want to do is, because you need to protect your liberal image, so you go take pictures with your black friends or the people you want to pat on the head. Now, fam, I'm telling you now, I'm calling it all out. Like, y'all thought it was bad, I'm calling it all out. There you go. It's the Mace Jackson Show. Hey, he in the building. I think he made it. It look like he alive, y'all. Back from the what you call it? Sleep. Back up in the building. It's my man, DJ Riis the Ruler on the ones and twos. DJ Riis the Ruler. How you feeling, man?
Blessed by the best. You already know the rest. The devil been working on me, but you know, it's all, hey, man. That's why it's called a testimony. You know, you got to go through the test.
I got a testimony.
I'm good.
All right, y'all. Yeah, all right, so that's it. It look like we got everybody here. We locked and loaded, so let's get the soul plane up to 60,000 feet. And then after we get this bad boy up to 60,000 feet, let's take a quick break. And we'll be back after these messages.
The Mace Jackson Show will be back after this break.
WIIFTV PM. WIIFTBP. Media's just for you and me. WIIFTBP. Media's just for you and me.
Mace Jackson.
Tune in to the Mace Jackson Show every day, Monday through Friday from 6 to 9 a.m., where you can catch us on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook Live. Plus, from 6:30 to 8, you can get us on WBGX 1570 AM. That's right, it's the Mace Jackson Show, where every single day we ask the question, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them, Mace said. We out of here. Peace.
Yo, who said devotion had to be sad? Yo, check this out. The Lord is my shepherd, shepherd I want. He's making me to lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside the still waters. He restored my soul. God's gonna turn it around.
Come all the way with me.
Good morning. What's in it for the Black People Media family? The time is now 6:46 a.m. I'm Riis the Ruler with your Chicagoland area sports, traffic, and weather update. We head over to sports. The Chicago Cubs win Sunday 3-2 against the Mets as they finally get one, and they are now 1-9 in their last 10 games headed to All-Star break. While the White Sox will beat the Twins 11-0 and take the series 2-1 against the Twins. Let's head over to traffic now on the Kennedy. Overhead to the Loop and back will be 25 minutes, while the Eisenhower in both directions is 27. On the Eisenhower, Thorndale to the Loop will be 43 minutes. Back to Thorndale will be 29. The Stevenson from I-355 to the Dan Ryan will be 40 minutes, outbound 30. Bishop Ford, I-82, the Dan Ryan, 34 minutes, 28 minutes to I-80. While the Dan Ryan is 16 minutes to the Loop, 13 minutes to 95th. On DuSable Drive, south of 55th to Jackson, 9 minutes. Jackson to 55th, 7. The north side, Randolph to Bryn Mawr, and Bryn Mawr to Randolph will be 8 minutes. Today's weather, it is currently 72 and partly cloudy. Today is expected to be a high of only 83 and a low of 70. I'm Riis the Ruler. Happy Monday. It's the Mays Jackson Show.
Oh yeah, come all the way with me. Don't leave me now. Come all the way with me. Oh, please. God's gonna turn it around. To the grave, from the grave back to glory. Glory to Gethsemane, to Golgotha, to the grave, from the grave back to glory. Glory to Gethsemane, to Golgotha, to the grave, from the grave. Glory to Gethsemane, to Golgotha, oh, Golgotha, to the grave, from the grave. Dear Lord, it's me again. God's gonna turn it around. I'm calling on you. You did it before. I believe that you can do it again. Somebody calling you right now.
You are listening to the Mays Jackson Show. I'm your host, Mays Jackson. Got my man, DJ Riis the Ruler on the ones and twos. Got my girl, Ruthie Moore. Ruthie, go to watch your live screen. I'm going to show you some video from what was going on and going down this weekend, because it is just unbelievable to me how it goes down in a shot like this. Like, the video of these, like, this is, like, how? First of all, I don't know what the hell I don't know what the hell. Now, I know the white people like, I did not move here and put these Negroes away.
These black people. You sure?
I'm going to check. Ruthie? Yeah, well, with a pickup oh, dang, they keep going. Woo, I think it's everybody. Like, I've been noticing, like, when I be seeing the motorcycle crews meet up, they don't necessarily, I think the whole power of the motorcycle crew meetup is the fact that, I think you hit it on the head. It's so many. It's like, how you gonna pick anybody? First of all, who's going in there to get the person?
It's like riding bikes too. If it got 2 wheels or 4 wheels, if it's a group of y'all, you can do whatever you want.
So I hope the streets is calling don't turn into like a mob.
I mean, if you got a big group of people,
that goes.
It might get you might run through some red lights. You might stop traffic so everybody can make it through. That's just basic bike etiquette.
Is it bike so do you ever see like when people do that like on the street, like when it's a street motorcade and the brothers be like, hey Joe, ain't nobody going through here till the whole mob go.
Yeah. I mean, what you gonna do? Run through it? It's like cutting through a funeral procession. You respect those, or you skirt?
And if I see it coming, I just speed.
If you can get through.
If I could beat it, I'm gone. But if I ain't, I respect it. I definitely respect it. But shoot, these funeral processions.
Honestly, funeral processions be out of control though. I ain't gonna even stunt.
Have you seen a hood funeral procession?
Yes, you know
that's
where
what
I
they be
live,
trying to shoot.
Encounter all of the hood funeral processions.
Oh, that's right. You know they be in Beverly. They tried to stop it.
I understand.
Remember they shot the dude.
I don't even really mind the hoodness of it, but if y'all blowing through intersections, like maybe y'all need a lead car or something, but I don't know. I just feel like it just get a little bit out of control.
I feel like those funerals, because it's already somebody be like, I wish you would.
That's what I'm saying.
So they be like, I wish you would.
It's like strolling somebody break your line.
Bad move. Many nights have ended like that. All right, y'all, it's the Mace Jackson Show. So this whole street drag racing thing got me to thinking about the mayor's We Will Chicago plan. Have you seen that?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I didn't look at the plan, but I know what you're talking about. I'm familiar.
So the mayor has released a We Will Chicago plan. And I'm going to, Riis, why don't you know what, I feel like we might not have the, my thing don't be cracking the way it need to be. I think something is going on this side of my computer. But Riis, I'm going to play a video from the mayor. Hold on. And I want you to, we're going to use I'm sorry. What is going on here? They don't love your man right now. Okay. I'm okay with that. Oh, now they want to get a brother. So anyway, the mayor is putting out a new plan, and it's called We Will Chicago. And it is a citywide planning effort. It says Chicago's legacy as a world-class city continues to be threatened by systemic inequalities. Systemic inequalities that have undermined its success for decades. These social and economic disparities touch nearly every aspect of Chicago life and government. Recent planning efforts in Chicago have been largely place or policy focused, limiting the city's ability to comprehensively address systemic issues that impact different neighborhoods in different ways. The COVID-19 pandemic and resulting recession further underscore these issues and the need for Chicago, its leaders, and its citizens to develop a more equitable and strategic path forward. I will is the longtime mantra of Chicago. Its roots trace back to the Great Fire of Chicago. The city of I will endure as an irreplaceable refrain from Chicago's past. This plan will make clear who will lead the future of Chicago. We will together. Now, I feel like, Ruthie, this has been whitewashed. And I say this because I feel like when it first came out, they were talking 100% about Black and Latino communities. And I'm going to go back. I'm going to play the video for you. But let me do this real quick. Let me say what's up to everybody who is tuned in to the Mace Jackson Show. Shout out to everybody from WBGX 1570 AM. You all can catch us every day, Monday through Friday from 6:30 to 8. That's right. The Saints join us every day from 6:30 to 8. They get here and we save y'all a seat. Now the Sinners, they get here at 6 and they stay till 9, and they can catch us every day, Monday through Friday on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. I am going to play a message from Mayor Lightfoot because this video of the drag racing got me to thinking about what we need in Chicago and what do Black people need in Chicago. So I'm going to play this, and then I'm going to ask you the social media question of the day. Riis, just turn this mic up. I'm going to do it here. Yeah. Ready? What do Black people need in Chicago? Uh-oh. top of it. All right, let's do it. Here is the mayor's We Will Chicago plan.
I am proud to announce the public release of our draft We Will Chicago Framework Plan, Chicago's first citywide plan since 1966. You heard that right. Leading a citywide planning process was one of my top priorities this term as mayor. That's because I know how these processes can establish a collective vision for our city's future and charted path to achieve its goals. I wanted our citywide plan process to look and feel different than others from around the country. So instead of relying only on City of Chicago staff to forge the document alone, of course we prioritize community engagement from the very beginning and selected a group of 115 resident volunteers and 25 community partner organizations to shape the recommendations in this plan alongside over 100 city staff members. During this phase, we gathered insights and ideas from over 65 community meetings with residents. And we incorporated artist-led engagement from the very beginning, working with a team of artist organizers to host 80 virtual and in-person meetings, and engaging 1,400 residents with creative experiences throughout the city. Furthermore, the draft plan includes not just an ambitious vision for the future, but a historical acknowledgement section within the plan's introduction. My team and I knew it was important to look back as we look forward and recognize our city's history of policies, programs, and investments that have both caused and exacerbated challenges like racial and social inequity. This document represents a strong, community-driven, and data-informed vision for Chicago that is rooted in the principles of equity and resiliency. The priorities within it align with many existing initiatives and investments of my administration, like Invest Southwest, the Chicago Recovery Plan, our Climate Action Plan, and so much more. I want this plan to be our plan, a document that reflects the dreams, aspirations, and innovative ideas from a wide range of diverse stakeholders and residents, and envisions a Chicago where people, businesses, and communities thrive, regardless of zip code, regardless of race, ethnicity, or citizenship status. This framework will be a critical tool to shape future annual budgets, capital projects, and policy priorities. Starting today through November 1st, I am eager to hear your feedback on ways to strengthen this draft plan as we prepare to propose the final version to the Chicago Plan Commission for adoption in 2023. So to the hundreds of residents and volunteers, community organizations, and city staff that work together to co-create this draft plan, hats off to you. Thank you for your passion and, importantly, your dedication and commitment to our city. I can't wait to engage more residents around the ideas that you have proposed during this historic process and ensure that all voices and perspectives are reflected in this 10-year vision for Chicago. So, visit WeWillChicago.com. That's WeWillChicago.com to read the plan, take surveys, and see a calendar of community events where you too can help shape the plan with us this summer and fall. With We Will Chicago guiding our city, I am more hopeful than ever about our strong, bright, resilient future. Thank you.
That was Mayor Lori Lightfoot on the We Will Chicago plan. If you go to WeWillChicago.com, you can actually see a version of the plan. Now, I do think it's interesting. And I do feel like this is, Ruthie, I feel like this got whitewashed because I feel like the last time I looked at this last week, okay, no, I guess it hasn't. It says page last updated June 2nd, 2022, but I felt like it was more Latino dominated. So first of all, there is a new plan for Chicago being done, and it is built on the principles of equity and resiliency. Equity is essential to address cultural racism, depopulation, poverty, and health disparities. Equity is measured by both processes and the outcomes for people. Resiliency is necessary for individuals, institutions, and systems to survive, adapt, and rebound in the face of chronic stresses and acute shocks like climate change and pandemic. This program has 6 pillars. Y'all heard that right? This program has 6 pillars. Does that? Stop. Arts and culture, civic and community engagement, economic development, environment, climate and energy, housing and neighborhoods, lifelong learning, public health and safety, and transportation and infrastructure. Now, ordinarily, I would be like, here we go. But I'm curious to know from Black Chicago. Riis, you got the button ready? You got the button? Let's do it. All right, let's do this real quick. Hit the button for me, Riis.
It's time for the social media question of the day.
Taking this We Will Chicago plan into consideration, what does Black Chicago need now and for the next 10 years? We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, I want to answer that question. What does Black Chicago need to sustain itself, to be equitable, and for resiliency over the next 10 years? Because, Ruthie, I got to tell you, I feel like Chicago has been destabilized for Black people. I was thinking about, you know how you used to be like, what high school did you go to in Chicago? Like that used to be a big thing. Mm-hmm. That's going to be gone. Because think about all the high schools that people said they used to go to that don't. And so now my question, that don't exist anymore, right? Didn't somebody say there was a Robeson Raider one time? What's Robeson? That's still a school, right? Like, no, I mean, think about all the schools. Think about how Chicagoans used to identify. What high school you go to? So now, not the Maniac Latin Disciple Prosser High School, Riis. I know, Riis. Riis like, Prosser! Like, but that's okay, it's okay. So my question becomes, though, what do we need to sustain ourselves over the next 10 years? Because you see our infrastructure has been totally degraded. Not degraded, but has been totally busted up. I was trying to be all big. I was trying to be Salim and got caught up. So my question is, like, what do we need? Like, what do we need to participate here in Chicago, to thrive in Chicago? Because they making a plan, and in the plan, they talk about, what did they say? Black, Latino, or your immigration status. So we know that they building all types of plans for undocumented. We know that there's a lot of resources going, but what is in this plan for Black people? What do Black people need in Chicago to sustain ourselves or to stay here? Did y'all hear that she also is potentially going to raise the property taxes? First of all, did y'all see the story about the Cook County? That the feds, so they had 5 people indicted by feds this in the last week. Or not indicted, but reported to or have federal violations. Cook County, they found 4 people they prosecuted, or the Inspector General identified 4 people in Tony Preckwinkle's comptroller's office who were getting illegal PPP or getting paid illegally through PPP. I want to tell y'all about that because what you're seeing now. So, Madam President Tony Preckwinkle made a deal with the devil, with the progressives that were to the left of her to stay president. And now what they're doing is lame ducking her, right? So they're putting her in a position where she won't be able to run again. So you got the spot, but we're going to trash your legacy while you're here. Keep on paying attention. It's $300 million loan fund. Now you got 4 people indicted for illegitimate PPP, right? Then you saw somebody get indicted in the assessor's office last week by the feds and plead not guilty. They try to say it's a Madigan thing, but quite frankly, he stayed and the assessor was there for 4 years. So what didn't you get? Who is your inspector general? But I'm not going to bug out because obviously that would be spilled grapes. I mean, that would be people saying sour grapes. But I just want y'all to pay attention to all of the things that were covered up in advance of this election to protect the legacy. And now our leader who made a deal with the devil, the progressive devils, they're now working on destroying her legacy as she was the progressive person. So she got 4 people right now on PPP loans that's about to get indicted. Yeah, that they got referred. You think it ain't more? You think they didn't just, what did I tell you, Ruthie? Keep a file? You keep a file. You have your enemy destroy you have our leader destroy our kids in the cradle. So now she's killed all of our future. And now they're going to kill her. Pay attention to what's going on right now. What, you think it's coincidental that this stuff is all now going to the inspector general and her own inspector general threw under and referred it to the federal government? What kind of manager is that? I'm going to stop. It's the Mace Jackson Show. We're going to take a quick break. What I do want to know, though, is what do black Chicagoans need? The Mace Jackson Show. We'll be back after these messages.
The Mace Jackson Show will be back after this break.
Broken screen? Crash system? Are you in need of spyware or virus removal from your computer? Well, contact RPC Computer Repair in South Shore and let us help you with all your computer repair services and print needs. Need office or print production services, copies, scans, fax, or even notary service? Then stop by and support RPC Computer Repair and Print Shop located 1741 East 71st Street in the 71st Street corridor, newly revitalized South Shore areas, and let RPC be your one-stop shop, where we believe RPC is your PC. RPC Computer Repair is also a UPS access point where you can drop off and pick up your important packages. So let RPC be of service to you. Call RPC Computer Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m. through 6 p.m. at 773-966-4457. That's 773-966-4457. Visit RPC at rpccomputeringinc.com for more information.
I'm feeling good, y'all. Smiling more every day. Closer to my dreams. Hey, guapole, the food tastes better. I stopped smoking squares. Healing from the inside out, making repairs. I forgave some people. Thanked them for the lessons, cause holding on to it was blocking my blessings. No more stressing. Worry dishonors God, so I just pray, and I'm loving my odds. Mingle with like minds, gravitate where light shines. Graduate, masters, your rhymes ain't like mine. Big dank from the west side, this is my best self. Taking vacations, hoping the rest helps. Got a career now, loving what's ahead. My spirit is free from the stuff that I shared.
I feel good now, ain't that what life's about? Thank you for new days, something to sing about. Let's do it a new way, more than just talk about. Today's a holiday, that's what it's all about. I feel good now, ain't that what life's about?
So good now, walking on higher ground. Got out the country, visit some new towns, made some new friends, let go of some bad ones. Soon as that took place, everything got fun. My life started going up, opportunities showing up. I'm back where I wanna be, no headaches and throwing up. Reconnect with the homie, it's positive energy, vibes and wavelengths. It's all about frequency. I'm back with my first love, it feel like the first time. I'm back in the studio, this ain't my first rhyme. Wake up every day, blessed is heavenly. Before I ain't say much, now I got much to say. Raise my credit score, got rid of some past debt. Heard that's attractive, well call me a magnet. Plugged into an outlet, living life outright. All on my Kid Cudi, focusing day and night. Right?
Now ain't that what life's about? Thank you for new days, something to sing about. Let's do it a new way, more than just talk about. Today's a holiday, that's what it's all about. I feel good now, ain't that what life's about? Thank you for new days, something to sing about. Let's do it a new way, more than just talk about. Today's a holiday, that's what it's all about. Feel good,
Feel good. See, my state gets busy. That's the cardinal rule.
Back to the Mace Jackson Show. You are listening to the most dangerous show. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Mace Jackson. Mace Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
the black people. Cause economically we are not equal. Waking up to life, can't toast no more. I told y'all, yeah, this a dangerous show. Don't go to church if you ain't trying to help us. Don't even try to be around and can't protect us. We see the lies, not other politicians. We need money and no symbolism. It's Mace and Riis, and Ruthie and Ty, explaining how we all come from God, giving us tools to beat the odds. If we united, our movement gon' stop. If they ain't trying to help us, they ain't trying to do nothing. We gotta do something, we gotta stop running. It's time to confront the problem. Really, you expect your oppressors all wrong.
Wake up, Chicago! Wake up, world. This is the Mace Jackson Show. I'm your host, Mace Jackson. Got my girl, Ruthie Moore, and my man, DJ Riis, the ruler. Somebody said they was going to the Robeson Raiders class reunion, but they had to have it in the park because the school ain't there no more.
That was shade.
That was not shade. Shout out to all the kings out there. Shout out to King Israel and all of the graduates of Robeson Raider High School. The only real Raiders are in Bolingbrook, though. Ruthie, you still got your high school? The KKKs? See, I'm just saying. Riis, you still got Prosser. They're not going to cut down the Maniac Latin Disciple School. But is King High School still around? Like, remember when it was King and Simeon? Is that still a Simeon High School? Somebody told me they had a reunion. It was like 16 people, though. Like, where are all the, like, what does Black Chicago need? Oh, y'all don't need nothing? That's okay. I'll move on there. Give us a call, 872-259-7474. There is a plan. We will Chicago. It is to bring back the racial, to heal, to provide equity. Ruthie, I think that the undocumented immigrants going to get some of our equity. They're going to get a big chunk of it because I don't even know when the plan. I missed the meetings. I didn't even know it was a We Will Chicago plan meeting. So now we got to figure out what do we need and how do we get it included on the list. Because do we need arts and entertainment? This is the other part. I don't know that I need an artist planning my economic development program. Right? Like, that's what kind of bothers me. Like, who are the artists that are the economic gurus for Black people? Because my thing is, they going to point to all the festivals and see, y'all said y'all wanted festivals. Y'all said y'all wanted Summertime Shy Back. Who are the business people that we know that have Black businesses that have positively impacted Chicago that are now on the We Will Chicago Planning Commission? No? So my question is, again, this goes to that thing of them picking who's going to speak for us. And again, if you ain't got, the people that's speaking for us is winning. Who speaks for the people who ain't winning? Right? Like, who? Like, talk to me. Did somebody represent Solo Beauty? So here is Solo Beauty, that is one of the largest Black-owned hair care supplies. How do we create equity in our neighborhoods for Solo Beauty? Do we stop and say, okay, we're going to create a safe zone where in Black neighborhoods we're not going to allow other people to come and predatorize us? Does it say that in those old shopping and strip malls that get popped up in our neighborhoods, those empty storefronts are now going to be populated? We're going to have an entrepreneur business incubator program where we help subsidize your rent and so you can get out of your basement? Who is speaking for the upper? Because here's the thing. Oftentimes, the people that are in the room are no longer struggling or are no longer in the fight. So they looking for enhancements, right? Like, you'll see so many of our, and I love the fact that this happens, but you don't see it come back. So you see like our leaders are proud to put forth black bonds people and black, like investment people, and they get put on these deals, these multi-million-dollar deals, and our leaders are happy for that. But how does that play out besides bicycles and computers for Christmas? Right? So when you ask who are the people on the We Will Chicago planning board, who are the black entrepreneurs? Right? Like, on that We Will Chicago, are they talking about cannabis? Right? Like, did you see anywhere in that plan to address the inequity of the new businesses that have been, and the new industries that have been built in Chicago, of which we are not, when you talk about systemic exclusion, there was a whole new industry that opened up. Y'all had rules that said they can't even be within 1,500 feet of each other. Y'all done busted all those rules, and now there's white cannabis shops everywhere, and you handed me We Will Chicago when you could have Chicago. Do you see it? Is there a plan for us in gaming in there? Where is it that not the catch up, not to be even, but where is the gain? A lot of times, what we do in black business and what they provide for us is to be in business, not to be in profit. So you think your salary is covering your job, and that's not the case. And my question is, when you start talking about, I'm not bugging out on any artist, but what is artist-led from the beginning? What is artist-led decision-making for our business community? Do artists decide what's going on in housing? Do they understand construction costs? Why is that put into my face? Am I missing something here? Like, don't tell me that the artists were there. If they on the arts and culture board, that's fine, but I don't need them in the business meeting. I don't need them in the housing meeting. Who are the people that are at these meetings, and what, like, again, is this the same thing that got us the Riis skating rink? Are these the people that suggested the skating rink with no walls? Yes? Because then I got to ask, how you get on this committee? Are we going to the meetings, or should I just tap out? Look, y'all, it's the Mays Jackson Show. Caller, you on the Mays Jackson Show. What's up?
Shalom, my brother.
What? This sound like a dinosaur. Is this?
No, this is the king.
This sound like a king of the dinosaurs, because it sound like somebody calling me about a school that ain't here no more. What's up, King?
Oh man, but we got to stop. We got to star in Hollywood, though. We got to star in Hollywood. What about that? Hey man, I'm gonna send them Raiders down there. Keep talking. Well, Shaq, you know what Shadrack and Lamron at?
Hold on. The real Raiders reside in Bolingbrook, just so we clear. Go ahead.
All right, I'm gonna let them guys in Shadrack know on Lamron. You know, Rovers used to be on Lamron. Now you don't want the people coming.
When was it though? Is it still there?
No, I think your boy Rom tore it down because Paul Robeson was a hero.
Yes, he was. See, this is my thing, though.
I know he was.
How y'all gonna tear down Robeson High School? Like, think about the names that they done tore down. Talk to me, Israel. What is going on?
That's them Democrats do. That's why I'm going with Trump. That's them Democrats do. They tear down all our heroes. I don't like abusive relationships. Nah, you want to go there?
Come on.
Want to take the gloves off?
It's Monday morning, man. I'm going to be talking about that in a minute, though. So you should tune in, because I am. CNN just did
I tune in.
CNN just did a big report that said, and it's funny because people of color is backfiring on Democrats right now. The CNN report just said, and we'll talk about it probably at 8 o'clock.
Man, they don't like abusive relationships. I told you what I learned from a friend of ours over there. He told us that a long time ago. And although he jumped the ship on me, but he was like, man, and I had to borrow that line from him. Black people like abusive relationships. They like getting smacked upside the head. They like it. They love it. I don't. I don't know. I fight back.
I heard that.
Dynamite come in small package. But look, let me get back to what you're talking about. Black Chicago. Ruthie, tell them. Black is a color in the crayon book. I don't mean to hurt nobody's feelings, but man, ain't no country called black. Ain't no language called black. They effed us up when the Negro was a protected class. If we go back to Negro, we might be able to get some reparations or something y'all talking about.
Is it a country called Negro?
Plantation. No, that was something they said when they. You know what country I'm talking about. You want to go there?
Go ahead,
they stole identity. Israel. You know where we from. And it ain't never going to be peace in the Middle East till we get our land back. It's in the Bible. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to take the gloves off. Let's take them off. Plantation politics. I've got to get up off the plantation like he did with Ken. You know, when Ken ran up off that plantation down in Springfield. I don't understand Negroes. They just illiterate to me, and I'm done with them. I ain't Republican or Democrat, but I'm most definitely a Trumpster. You know what I'm saying? And really got issues with him, too. I'm going to holler at him. I'm going to go out to Mar-a-Lago, wherever in Florida, and holler at him, too, personally, man to man. Look, I just saw, I was talking to your boy Mark Vargas one day, man. I brought him to the table when I was in one of these Trump rooms, and the brother named Chad, I took him down to ECCOC. I took him up on the roof with the pastor, and he wanted to meet Fred Hampton Jr. But I'm saying that he said you had I called you was on vacation. And Mark Vargas said you'd be like, man, who are you? Are you the feds or what? You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm. You talking about the mystery man from the Blake Friends from the
exactly.
Mark Vargas, man, I'm telling you, he a super spy something, dog. He worked for somebody just way up. Stay close.
I already know it. That's my man now. That's why I say he's on Tyrone. He took a lot of Tyrone. Him and Blago been down to Tyrone joint on headquarters on EC. But I made a connection through Chad. I don't think you know Chad because I was invited to Trump Tower in the room because I was on security for candidate Trump in 2016. People don't know that. And I ain't heard from them people in 7 years. But at least they called back. You know what I'm saying? I'm serious about what I'm talking about because these Democrats is out of order. They love. I ain't at the candidates. I'm talking at the party, Democratic Party. You know, the Green Team chumps and all them that when you got fired from was that defending all that, telling the truth. But I see you getting your respect, and I'm really sorry how you did. Not you, your wife, David Moore. I guess the King Jesse Jackson called in last favor to get his son in there, but the Democratic Party bogus, and I'm here to tell him.
That's my man, King Israel, the Roberson Raider. Go Roberson. What y'all do? I want you know Israel, my man. All right, y'all, it's the Mace Jackson Show. We're going to take a quick break. Well, actually, yeah, we are going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back. And I want to talk about the mayoral power moves. I don't know if you all saw the cash on hand. The D2s came out, and Mayor Lori Lightfoot has $2.6 million in cash on hand. I don't know if you all saw the headline about Mayor Lightfoot having the cash on hand, but I want to show you. I'm going to read the headline after the break because it's once again. I think I'm going to do the media bias of the day, the media biased headline of the day. Cause why I feel like they call Willie Wilson money nigga money in the paper. Like I feel like they basically said Lori Lightfoot raised $2.5 million, but she's still behind Willie Wilson and his nigga money. That's really that's how I read it. And I have come to the point that I have decided that if I was to ask you, do you think race outweighs friendships? Does race outweigh your black friendships, do you think?
What you mean?
So remember I was saying about the white people that take pictures with black people?
Mm-hmm.
I think that there are a lot of white people who will be cool with black people, but if they have to make a race choice, your friendship don't mean jack.
Oh.
Do you think that there are any white people really that would stand by you if it's a choice between you and some black and some white people?
Yeah.
How deep?
John Brown.
I was thinking because we're going to talk about all of this when we come back. Man, I've been having so many racial epiphanies in politics. It's just so crazy to me. Oh, and I did a lot of research. You know how I be feeling a certain. I gotta tell you, I was feeling a certain way during this election and after this election with the Twitter mob, like the white Twitter gangsters who tweet but don't show a picture, don't show nothing. So I started getting names and addresses? Cause I be feeling like, man, cuz like that's what you said. You be saying stuff, but then you be like, you ain't go like for real. Did you really just you made a comment about me and my home life? Cause you behind the twits.
It's the power of the keyboard, man.
Well, I'm gonna show you the power of the pull up.
See, that's what's going on wrong now, and that's what a lot of the kids these days are.
Reese, I could tell you. I'm gonna tell you, Jeff O.
You said that on my. You said that about. You just let them have it, man.
Right, I'm gonna let them have it. Reese.
They pay their phone bill. It's okay, man. They can type what they want to type. It's cool.
Hey, Reese.
You know,
I want you to type. I just want you to make sure that hey, fam, just put a face to the name. Let's stand on it.
Are they lies?
Huh?
Are they like lies though? Man,
but it's like, let me tell you, I feel like it ain't even lies. I feel like it's like disrespect. Like, did you say you said my who? What'd you say about? Oh, because you don't think you're going to never see me? Like, here's the thing, though. This is the thing. The thing is they be at the same events. Like, hi. Like, they be disguised.
But what I tell you, though, that's what they want. So as soon as you show them that you still OJ, that's exactly what I told you. So, you know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna show him OJ.
It's cool.
I'm gonna show him OJ. It's the Maze Jackson show. Reese like, man, I know. I'm just saying, you don't talk smack and then hide your face. Just stand on it. That's why I'm telling you. Even like them Capital Facts people who be talking because they could talk anonymous. I feel like this, Reese. Don't be anonymous and talk smack, and if you're gonna be anonymous, be real anonymous. Don't be find outable. It's the Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back after these messages.
The Maze Jackson Show will be back after this break.
WIIFTVPN. Introducing your trusted source for high-quality black emojis, better known as Blackmoji. We believe black is beautiful, and that beauty should be reflected in the digital market. Now there is an app that does just that, starting with Black Greek letter organizations. Blackmoji D9 offers more than an emoji app. It is a cultural experience of black excellence. Download the app in the Apple or Google Play Store to access a specially curated catalog of emojis representing the Divine Nine. Use the emojis to celebrate Black Greek events, acknowledge current events, support social causes, and learn about esteemed Black Greek members who blaze the trail of Black history. A portion of every subscription goes toward a scholarship fund specifically for members of Black Greek letter organizations to help keep the legacy alive. Download the Blackmoji app today.
You are listening to the Maze Jackson Show. I've been messing up. Reese, I blew up. I didn't realize we was that close to a break. So we're gonna do a quick little segment, and then we're gonna come back, and then we're gonna talk about the campaign cash. Ruthie, I seen Ruthie. Like, you give Ruthie a research project, she like down the wormhole already. She like this.
It's a lot of pages to this document. It's like 70-some pages.
I think the whole thing was like 124. I was gonna print it, but then I was like, I need to go somewhere else with somebody else ink, because then they did it in colors. But Ruthie, I'm gonna tell you what I saw when I was reading it. It was all of the things that everybody talked about over the course of like 2 or 3 years of everybody's little thing, and it's all been put together and then repackaged as pillars. I think you also noted in your observations that every time they talked about Black, they talked about Latino. But if you look at the charts, the Latinos lead the Black people in everything. In number of businesses and all of the stuff, right? So does it mean that the people that are supporting this plan recommend more resources? Do you think the Latinos that were in this say we should give more resources to the Black community, catch them up to where we are in their equity discussion? Because this is one of those things where they break out the numbers, and you can look at the numbers and see that black people lag behind. We already know this. We are last in all 16 economic indicators in the city. So, understanding that we're last in all of that, and then the mayor comes out with the We Will equity plan. Is this a black recovery plan that brings black folks up? And are we directing more resources to the black community to get us up to par with the Latinos and then bringing both of us up? So are we getting, is it a 75-25 split on resources? Or is it we're caught up in this mix that says people of color, racial inequity, and we just assume it's us, but it's already divided by 3 to 4 different groups? I guess I must be crazy. Uh-oh. Why are you making them faces, Ruthie?
I'm just reading through this. I mean, it's robust. I don't know if it's
for us.
Well, I don't know. Anything that come out around the time of re-election, I'm always like, oh, this was just for re-election. Yep. So it's hard for me to look at it without knowing that it's for re-election. But I mean, I think it's a pretty comprehensive plan.
I guess my question is, has it been executed already? Have we been doing it? And should we be expecting more as black people over the next 10 years? Should the city be doing more to catch black people up?
Listen, according to this plan, black people ain't getting nothing without Latino people getting it too. So if we already behind, it's just going like it's
like the multiplier. Like, we're going to stay behind. We're going to get more, but everybody else is going to get more at the same time. 1 for you, 2 for me. 1, 2 for
I'm shocked that they didn't use the BIPOC instead of saying black and Latino. I'm surprised that they didn't just throw everybody in there. Because they only say, like, Native American and Asians, like, in certain parts. So they probably going to feel a type of way if they read this, too.
It's the Mace Jackson Show. What does Black Chicago need? Hey, also, y'all, I want to remind you all, we got the Old School Car Show coming up August 6th, 3 to 7 p.m. at TP, located at 5401 South Wentworth. Man, I've been running around. I've been seeing people. Yesterday, I ran into Ike. Ike pulled up. He had 5 old schools. If you got an old school car, people was confused. They said black. I was talking about black old school car owners. But if you have an old school car and you want to put it in the Black Car Show, come on, join us on August 6th from 3 to 7 p.m. at the TP located at 5401 South Wentworth. Look, y'all, when we come back, I'm going to break down, there are campaign contributions that are coming in. The D2s were filed. I haven't had a chance to go back to some of the other ones, but what I did do is look at the mayor's race and look at the D2s that were filed in the mayor's race. And you'd be surprised at kind of what came out of it. Who's in the, well, maybe you wouldn't be surprised, but who's in the lead, and what are the dynamics of this money? Then also coming up at 8 o'clock, I want to talk about the black talent pool, the black political talent pool, and does it exist? Where do we go to get black talent? Because one of the things that I noticed or I'm learning in these campaign cycles is that as we become more dependent upon, as we are almost completely dependent upon white staff and white experienced campaign managers, what we find is that their whiteness outweighs their loyalty to the campaign. And so what I believe often happens is that we, because you know how they say, my mom will say, we send our enemy to the children to be educated. Mm-hmm. We send our candidates to the enemy to be managed. And until we get to a point where there are people who are willing to work tirelessly for our candidates, I feel like we're going to keep finding these same situations where we have to pick between bad and worse, and then our candidates find themselves in a trick bag. So we're going to talk about that too. But when we come back, we're going to talk about the mayoral power moves. $2.6 million cash on hand the mayor has, but the Tribune reduced Willie Wilson's $5 million to nigga money. We'll talk about it more when we come back after these messages.
The Mace Jackson Show will be back after this break.
Well, sometimes I go out by myself and I look across the water and I think of all the things what you're doing, and in my head I paint a picture. Since I've come home, well, my body's been a mess, and I miss your ginger hair and the way you like to dress. But won't you come on over? Stop making a fool out of me. Why don't you come on over, Did you have to go to jail? Put your house on up for sale. Did you get a good lawyer? I hope you didn't catch a tan. I hope you find the right man who fix it for you. And while you're shopping anywhere, change the color of your hair. Are you busy? And did you have to pay that fine that you've been dodging all the time? Are you still dizzy? Oh, yeah. Since I've come home, well, my body's been a mess, and I miss your ginger hair and the way you like to dress. Won't you come on over? Oh, stop making a fool out of me. Why don't you come on over there? Well, sometimes I go out by myself and I look across the water and I think of all the things what you're doing. In my head I paint a picture. Since I've come home, well, my body's been a mess, and I miss your ginger hair and the way you like to dress. Won't you come on over? Stop making a fool out of me. Why don't you come on over there?
You are listening to the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my man, DJ Riis, the roller. Ruthie Moore. Okay, I gotta read this. I'm gonna read it out loud. No comments. I'm just gonna read it. Cancel. I think our governor is running for president. I think it's on and popping. He was delivering a speech this weekend to Florida Democrats. He been to New Hampshire. Now he been to Florida because apparently he is taking whacks at Ron DeSantis, who people think are going to be a potential presidential candidate. But this jumped out to me. This is from Politico this morning. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker delivered a fiery speech to Florida Democrats Saturday in Tampa, equating Ron DeSantis to former President Donald Trump and condemning the national GOP on issues related to abortion and guns. I wanted to shut up. I'm going to save this. I'm going to save this for my other conversation. All right, let me remind you all, August 6th, that is 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. at TP 5401. We are doing an old school car show. You got an old school car, you want to register, you want to show it off, you want to win a $500 grand prize, then we going to get the information will be up this week, but we want you to sign up, put your car in the old school car show. Ruthie, can you bring your old school? Mm-hmm. You going to bring a tractor?
That's funny.
Right, Ruthie going to come.
That old school is 2020.
Man, that could be a 2000. right? Like, what's old school? Well, 20 years is old school. It's antique at that point. So we're going to talk about it. But anyway, I hope y'all get y'all cars together. I seen some of y'all showing off, putting them on. I seen some people got Corvette Stingrays. Well, do you remember, did y'all used to say, that's my car? When y'all was kids? That's my car. That's my car. I want somebody with, like, what you think is I'm going to put my 66 old school Impala inside SS with the Corvette engine. Y'all know people with old school cars? Get them together. Let's go. All right. Ruthie. Mayoral power moves. Oh, I forgot to look up the story real quick. I don't know if you saw the reports, but I can't believe I didn't get that. Okay, let me read the story. Mayor Lori Lightfoot gets more help from supporters, but trails Willie Wilson after he loans his campaign $5 million. Mayor Lori Lightfoot gets more help from supporters, but trails Willie Wilson after he loans his campaign $5 million. Now, I just want to point out, in my media bias of the week, why is it when white rich men give themselves money, it's not an issue? But when the black person gets money or gives themselves or is in a position, then it becomes they are bought or paid for. I felt like reading this headline, Mayor Lori Lightfoot gets more help from supporters, but trails Willie Wilson after he loans himself $5 million in nigga money. That's how I read the thing. Now, I could be a little biased, but I feel like the story should be Willie Wilson leads the race with $5 million in the campaign. Mayor Lori Lightfoot comes in second with 2.5. Or Mayor Lori Lightfoot has 2.5 million. Willie Wilson still in the lead with 2.65. Now, let me run through this list. Right now, cash on hand, Mayor Lori Lightfoot has $2.6 million on hand. Willie Wilson gave himself $5 million. He spent about $500,000 in the last cycle. You know this goes quarterly, right? So every 3 months. So Willie Wilson loaned himself $5 million and spent $500,000 last campaign cycle, last 3 months. Dang, Ruthie, what is he spending his money on? I got to go back and look at his disclosures. Paul Vallis has $886,000. He spent $36,000. He took in $886,000 this quarter, but then spent approximately $36,000, which leaves him at about $850K, a little less than $1 million. Ray Lopez has $201,000 on hand. Cam Buckner has $73,000 in the bank. He spent $48,000 on consultants and stuff. Then Rod Sawyer didn't file a report, but they said he had about $5,000 on hand. Jamal Green took in $31,000, but spent $25,000 of it. So as I look at this, guys, I'm going to tell you that we cannot ignore the role that money plays in a campaign, but I also want to tell you that it's not the end-all, be-all. But you can look at the amount of money someone has if they are deemed a credible candidate. But I want you to see how the press is going to make sure that Willie Wilson stays not credible. Right? So if this is a rich white millionaire, say Fritz Kagi, and he puts $4 million in his account, you're not going to see that as a headline. But when you see a black man put in $5 million, then it becomes a questionable thing. And so what I want y'all to understand is that right now, the benefit of white media, remember, because Greg Pratt don't necessarily care for Lori Lightfoot, but remember, behind the scenes, the white folks will white together. And the answer is, we can't let this Negro being the front runner with the money situation. So now I also got to tell you that Mayor Lori Lightfoot's path to victory really is almost 100% dependent on her being able to win the black community. Right now, she's got 2 races. Hence your We Will Chicago. She's got 2 races to win. The first race is the mayor has to get to the runoff, right? So to win the mayor's election, you need 50% of the vote plus 1. Now, you can't get there based on what we've seen with just the black vote. So now, right now, the mayor is trying to play to finish in the top 2. And what she wants to do is finish in the top 2 and be the best choice amongst the top 2 where you have no choice. So what she'd ideally like is to be Willie Wilson versus Mayor Lightfoot. Or I would say Willie Wilson versus Mayor Lightfoot. Right? Because then she can have the benefit of the media working to undermine him. She will have a relatively decent amount of money. And if she gets to the runoff, she believes that white people will vote for her over Willie Wilson. The challenge for the mayor is, can she win the black community? I almost feel like right now she can't, if you read the article, it's funny because they said the mayor's campaigned almost exclusively with black aldermen. Like no white alderman except for Scott Wagaspack, who's our budget chair, got on. And George Carden is the only Latino.
I would just like to say that I said that was how the mayor's path to victory was going to be through the black alderman.
But the key with that is, let me back up. I also saw the endorsement of the anti-Catholic bigot Sarah Feigenholtz came out. Does that count? Does the mayor get to count if the Catholic Church says that you came out with the anti-Catholic bigot, is that like a, you know what I'm saying? I saw the meme this weekend of she's putting out these endorsement memes, but I was thinking does Sarah Feigenholtz count as a good endorsement now? Because isn't she an anti-Catholic bigot? What does that mean to the Irish people? What does that mean to the rest of the, has she repented enough? Did they put that in the story? Does it? So let me back up. So now, Ruthie, the mayor has to find a path through the black community to get to the runoff. But I gotta tell you, Ruthie, we've seen this movie before. Willie Wilson won every black ward last time with all of those candidates in the race. Every one. Right? Then we watched as Madam President Tony Preckwinkle, because a lot of these aldermen also serve as committeemen. And even the aldermen that were not with the party did not do what the people didn't do what the aldermen told them to do. They did what they wanted to do, right? And so there's this belief that the aldermen can will someone through. I believe that the aldermen know how to win for themselves, but I don't, and because they have a personal relationship. But do you think anybody is standing in front of the train? And so now my question is, how does the mayor make her pathway back to black people to get to the top 2? Does she finish in the top 2 in black community? So now you got Willie Wilson, Cam Buckner, Rod Sawyer, J. Maul Green, Mayor Lori Lightfoot. In those 5 candidates, let's just say in those 5, does she finish in the top 2? I say yes. But does she beat Willie Wilson in the black community?
If she can besmirch his name, she gonna have to play dirty.
The dirt would have to come from black womenness. And
black women like Lori Lightfoot.
Okay.
From what I can ascertain.
Okay.
But
is it enough?
Black women also like Willie Wilson.
The seniors that vote like Willie Wilson.
Mm-hmm. You know what? I think it's going to come down to crime. Because after Dr. Willie Wilson stood with the Fraternal Order of Police last time around, I think he made his position clear. And I think he will do the same thing this time around.
He did. He just did.
And Lori Lightfoot ain't going in that direction. She's way too far left. So I think the white people who are single issue voters focused on crime, Willie Wilson's message is going to resonate better with them because they feel so unsafe. Mayor Lightfoot has went, I think, too far left for her to be super tough on crime. I think it'll ring hollow to people versus Dr. Willie Wilson, who already was like, you know, FOP, hey, what's up? With this officer being paralyzed, I don't know. I think Dr. Wilson got a good shot because crime is the issue.
See, I think Dr. Willie Wilson has a great shot to get out of to make it to the runoff. I don't know that this goes back to my white people will be like, no matter how many friendships you got, if the two choices are Willie Wilson and let's say Paul Vallis or anybody white, because the white folks are gonna
see if you throw a Paul Vallis in there, then it gets a little bit more difficult.
Well, see, here's my point, Ruthie.
Because he's already anti-Kim Fox, and you know, white people, they like that
too. So think about this. So I was just telling you about how does Mayor Lightfoot get out of the black community? How does Mayor Lightfoot? So let's just pretend like there's two more white candidates. So there's going to be at least a white woman and a white and Paul Vallis, right? The mayor is probably not getting any up north, which is why none of her white allies, committee heads are joining. And I saw somebody say, we're going to end up with a non-black mayor. I'm going to say, have we seen the benefit? Well, I'm not even going to go there. I don't know. So how does Mayor Lightfoot, with Paul Vallis, Willie Wilson, Ray Lopez, Cam Buckner, Rod Sawyer, get to the top two?
She's going to have to play dirty. She's going to have to tie Dr. Wilson to the FOP. Probably going to have to tie him to something that's anti-woman or something like that. So Dr. Wilson should be very careful in his speech, particularly on the church circuit, if he is not for women's rights or whatever. So he got to be real careful with his rhetoric because they looking for a spot. And, you know, so I think that's why I've been saying that the black church has been kind of a little quiet on this issue because it's a third rail. Which side you on?
I think Dr. Wilson last time, and I think he crossed the church and went on the other side and said he was supporting the right to love everybody. So now, and I think, Ruthie, though, to your point of you believe that the mayor believes her path to the winning the black community is through the alderman. Did you notice that she threw the community activist off the Board of Education and replaced it with Michael Scott, who just stepped down from being an alderman? So I can't remember his name. I think it was Tough something. But there was a black CPS school board member who was clearly a very vociferous community advocate and was against the Chinatown High School. Spoke up. A month ago, he was told that he was getting renewed, and then he just found out this weekend that he was getting whacked and that he was being replaced by Alderman Michael Scott.
Off the school board?
And now Alderman Scott is on the school board, who was the former education chair. So it makes some sense. But I guess my question is, what does that get you? Right? Like, I think, and I don't know if you've been seeing, but quite a few aldermen are not coming back. So think about this. Ray Lopez isn't coming back because he's running for mayor. Rod Sawyer's not coming back. Harry Osterman just announced that he's not. James Kappelman announced that he's not running. We have the potential right now, and here's my thought. I think black aldermen have to be careful of young progressive blacks being put up by white folks to run against them. I.e., when you look at what is happening in our community, our infrastructure, and I'm going to talk about this a little bit more, but with no mayor, with no money, with no campaign staff to deploy, to me, a lot of aldermen will find themselves faced with challengers from progressives. I wouldn't be surprised to watch if Chuy Garcia identifies young blacks who are looking around with no path in the black community to be weaponized against black people, black aldermen, black elected officials, right? Because, now let me add another fact. How many signatures do you need to be? Do you know how many signatures it takes to get on the ballot now?
For mayor?
For alderman.
3,000 to 5,000?
543. Did you hear me? It takes 543 signatures to run for, let me make sure I got that right. Yeah, let me look at it. So right now, it takes 473 signatures to run for alderman. $473. Think about that. So right now, and so 3 times that pretty much means, guess what, Ruthie? Ain't nobody hardly getting knocked off the ballot. Which means that there's going to be people running, and you may see a tremendous overturn of what's happening. And while the mayor is betting on the alderman to get her through, I bet a lot of aldermen are trying to figure out how they're going to get themselves through. Where's the money? Who's got the resources, right? At this time right now, 4 years ago, Rahm had $7.5 million with no real candidate on the horizon, so he could help every one of these aldermen. Ruthie, I'm going to tell you that there is a shortage of trained political workers. Then I'm going to tell you that there's an even more strained number of black political workers that are really willing to take it to the end to win a campaign. And I got to tell you that I feel like we are on the precipice. Like, we're going to wake up and you're going to look in all of these aldermanic races, and socialists are going to have put people and candidates in these races. And progressives and socialists are going to have put these people in these races, understanding that they have totally downgraded your political operations. Like, we are almost politically defenseless. And they know you're politically defenseless. And with a threshold, and so the mayor to get the mayor, you got to get 12,500 signatures. So guess what? And that means she's going to need 36,000. Because somebody going to challenge. But in the meantime, who is going to be leading the charge for our black elected officials? Whether they are our black, like, here's what I don't want to see happen. I don't want to see us be so mad that we're going to throw our own people out for socialists. Like, if you're going to put candidates in the race, then they need to be your own. It should not be that someone from another community gets to come here, place candidates, fund them, and then have them run against us. And while we mad at our elected officials, we got a whole nother group of people who have been bred by someone else to rot us from the inside. Tell me a progressive black candidate that has helped us. Name a progressive. I'll go through most of it, but name a progressive. How do we win with progressives? Which progressive group has not weaponized our pain and suffering for their benefit? So when we come back, because I'm going to take a quick break, but when we come back, I want to talk to you about the lack of political staff that's happening right now and what that's going to mean to us going forward. Because let me ask you, who is the black political operatives? Who are the black campaign managers? Who are the black fundraisers? I've asked this before, but we're going to talk about it because I have a very real and present concern about that, having seen how it plays without people that know what they're doing. Look, y'all, it's the Maze Jackson Show. We do not want to be victims. Like, I'm not for being so mad at the people that we got that we wind up all picking cotton again by new masters. Are we, like, when do we marshal our own political resources? When do we take a political inventory of what we got? Because I could tell you right now, if you look around, we don't have very much. All you have to do is look at the outcomes of these last election cycles and see how many black people were actually working, how many black people had their fate. I would tell you, I just went through the mayor's D2s and I couldn't find no black consultants. I want to ask you, who are the black consultants? Because most of our candidates have been taught to stay away. It's not even they've been taught to be away, because I'll tell you, you can give people an opportunity, but they don't necessarily appreciate it. We're going to talk about it all when we come back. It's the Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back.
The Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back after this break. WIIFTVPN. Maze Jackson.
Byron, you got a nomination for the vice president of the phone club. Say what? Dang, Byron. Look, Tennille done nominated you for the vice president of the phone club. Riis has seconded. All those in favor of Byron being the vice president of the phone club signify by saying aye. Go once, going twice. And you are now officially the vice president of the phone club. So Byron, we will be expecting to hear from you regularly. So you and Katie will have an exec board meeting and let us know the rules of engagement on the phone. And Riis is now in your number one fan club. But you got to remember whose show it is, Byron. Don't forget, because Riis will have you thinking, you know how these millennials will do.
I know who paid the bill. I know who paid the bill.
Maze Jackson.
It's the Maze Jackson Show, where every single day we ask the question, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them, Maze said. We out of here.
Yeah. Ruthie Mo. Reach the ruler. Maze Jackson. This is the reparations interlude. We not asking, we demanding. So go on, make my payments high. Tell the government to cut them reparations, make them high. Not no SBA loans, just run the bread, make it high. Tell the government to cut them reparations, make them high. Look, Hey, check it out. First drug lord was President Nixon. Oval Office was the trap house where he was tipping. Got the drugs from Nicaragua and gave us crack. Declared war on blacks. Man, tell him to cut the check and tried to make it seem like a revolution. CIA was the corner boys for distribution. We could tear this country in half for retribution. But I'd rather get some restitution, so tell him to cut the check. John Singleton, man, he already told y'all. He broke it down for you when he made Snowfall. They locked us all up and created whole laws. So send a message like a cold call. Tell them to cut the check. Look, we built this city. We built this city. Back, put this country together and gave him hella aid. A lot of blood, sweat, and tears over 400 years. Been punching the clock, but yeah, we still ain't got paid. Look, they paying the immigrants, they paid the Jews. Executive orders, man, they made the rules. I want my 40 acres, you can save the mule. Cause as of right now, we getting played for the fool. Look, for sterilization, Tuskegee experiment, Rosewood, Japanese internment. Come on, was all paid out from the government. We waiting on our turn, we definitely earned it. So make my payment high. Tell the government to cut them reparations, make make them high, 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 high. And I know SBA loans just run the bread, make it high, 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 high. Tell the government to cut them reparations, make them high, 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 high. And I know stimulus checks just run the bread, make it high. Yeah, Ruthie Mo, Riis the ruler, Mays Jackson. This is the reparations interlude. We not asking, we demanding.
Back to the Mays Jackson Show. You are listening to the most dangerous show. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Mays Jackson. Mays Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
For Ruthie Moore, for Ty Stroger, I am the host of the Mays Jackson Show, asking every single day, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them Mays said, Mayor Lightfoot, man, we ain't accepting that. We ain't accepting that. Let's go.
Yeah. Let's get down to business and go ahead and address the facts, man. Lightfoot seems more lesbian than black. Rahm Emanuel's another case. He was just as tired. 50 closed schools left much to be desired. Police had Anjanette naked on that body cam. They suppressed the footage so it couldn't touch a lot of hands. Reminds me of that 16 shots in that cover-up. Both of them similar, so I went and dug it up. George Floyd killed, a lot of riots happened in the town. Southside burned and they wouldn't let them bridges down. Grandmother sick, need a prescription and plus a couple groceries. You gon' have to travel just to get it now. COVID-19 out here shutting all the business down. Not enough SBA loans to even give around. So many failed businesses that you can put them in the pile. If you don't survive the pandemic, it's gonna sit you down. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. Shout out to Willie Wilson, hope one day you get to send it. We need some different players in the game to handle business. Too many shady characters like Madigan and Blago. But when you really break it down, it's typical Chicago. City full of gangsters, it's what the land was built on. Same streets with hood legends, DNA get spilled on. Carjackers out here lurking, trying to get they steal on. Looking for a block to put them Hellcat wheels on. Let this give bogus appraisals a red line. Car crackers out here getting minimal fair time. And I'm to still carry, I stay with the pipe. But Illinois gun laws giving minimal rights. Stay up on the swivel, make sure I'm moving tight. Check all of my mirrors when I pull up to the light. Pick my homie up from out of town, man, he caught a flight. He was hella nervous, told him, shorty, this a way of life. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks.
Wake up, Chicago! Wake up, world. This is the Mays Jackson Show. I'm your host, Mays Jackson. Got my co-host, Ruthie Moore. And I got my man, DJ Riis, the ruler. And I want to take a continuation and an assessment of where we are. Thank you to everybody that is tuned in. This is the Mays Jackson Show, where you are likely to be triggered. Did I put the trigger warning up? Let me give y'all the trigger warning real quick, because you know y'all be. Ruthie, were you here when I talked about old Chicago and new Chicago? You missed it. When I talked about old Chicago. And I gotta be honest with you. The Chicago that I once knew and loved politically really does not exist. I have lied to myself. I have pretended to myself. I have dreamed to myself. And I have pontificated with you all in public. But I must tell you that the black political infrastructure has been degraded. It has been degraded to what I would call rubble, to the point where we don't even make political strategy collectively is not even on the table. Do y'all remember Richard Barnett? Does anybody here remember Richard Barnett?
Mm-mm.
Richard Barnett, and you got to read I can't think of the Fire on the Prairie, but Richard Barnett was a black teacher that got involved in politics and studied it and became the black kind of political guru. And then Mr. Barnett was like a resource for every black candidate who was trying to get on the ballot. Like, he felt his job was to make sure that black candidates that were going to represent had an opportunity to get on the ballot. And Mr. Barnett, while he didn't have all the resources of like the speaker, all of that stuff, but Mr. Barnett built a small network of young political lawyers, of which Randy Crumpton was one. I think at some point probably Howard Brooks, but a lot of Mr. Barnett was kind of like a nucleus of black political independence. Now, I'll be honest with you. I kind of, a lot of times found myself on the opposite side of Mr. Barnett. But he always encouraged me. He always showed me love, because he was like, boy, one day we going to bring you back and you're going to have all that good knowledge of how they do stuff. And you're going to bring it to us and we're going to do it. And eventually it happened. And Mr. Barnett eventually, before he passed, really started to, I don't know, this is not to pump me up, but gave me recognition for the fight and for what's in it for the black people have been doing. And under Mr. Barnett, people like Carrie Steele, John Steele, Fredrina Loud, numerous black judges in the sub-circuits made it. Mr. Barnett died. And I remember black politicians, like a lot of times, let me back up. On the West Side, a lot of people found themselves not necessarily on the same team with Mr. Barnett if you were an establishment Democrat. If you were an established Democrat, like a regular Democrat, then Mr. Barnett was probably not going to be your guy, even though everybody respected him. But you knew on election day, he had candidates filing, their petitions was going to be right, and if he would defend their challenges and make sure that he was there as their person. Y'all, we don't have a Mr. Richard Barnett anymore. And realistically, we now have to send our children to the enemy to be educated politically. Whether that was, for years we sent people to be with Madigan, whether it was we sent people to go now be with Chewy or to be with Tony or to be in this progressive mafia that has been created, what essentially has happened is black self-interest have been lost politically. And now our political dynamic is not based on black, it is based on winning and staying safe and not being a target. You don't see, and now with no political home, and I don't know if y'all recall, maybe it was at the West Side Music Festival, maybe like 2 years before it stopped. And I went off about I was mad because the young Democrats were there. They was telling me that they didn't have to follow the rules, and they was raising their own money, and they were doing their own thing. And now it's non-existent. I was thinking back to, this might have been 1999, 2000, 2001. I was the president of the 27th Ward Young Democrats, and there was a Young Democrat reunion. And we were, as the current Young Democrats, invited because the point was to network with young and old, right? For the people who had been Young Democrats, for us to be able to see what they did and see how all of this grunt work that you made us do then equated to them being what they were. Some were like the head lobbyists at CTA. I think Marlowe was like the head assistant majority leader, Alderman Burnett, right? It was all of them, black, white, Asian, Latino. They were regular Democrats that were part of their local ward organizations and grew. And then they were competitive, but they also had a network of people that would pull them up. I think back to when there was John Stroger. And I think about the mighty 8th Ward organization. And I talk a lot of smack about them because, right, the 8th Ward was competitive to us in the 27th Ward. But I think about myself and April Williams and April Luster and Chris Anderson and just all of us that were Young Democrats that had a path, that had some sort of guidance, that had somebody that somewhere cared about black people enough in their own way, because they weren't Mr. Richard Barnett. John Stroger was a old school Democrat, but he understood he understood his role as the black boss. And his role as the black boss was to be, I didn't like him, right? Because I hadn't paid my dues. Now, I know y'all don't want to pay dues. But what I am saying is I knew that there was a path for me to be able to be political, to be black, and to move forward. Can I tell you, when we were Young Democrats, nobody cared about what you thought. Nobody cared about your feelings. You had to grind. When they said you got to go knock on doors, on the weekends, Young Dems, you went and knocked on doors. But those were the people that went out and got your signatures. Guess what? Now you got to pay a mercenary $7 to get a signature. So now let me ask a question. What's the math on 473 times 7? Make it 473 times 1,500 at $7 a signature. 1,500 times 7. What's 7 times 15? 5, 3, 10, 105. So $10,500 is approximately what it's going to cost an undeveloped candidate to get on the ballot. Can I ask y'all a question? Where is the black political talent? Where are the black people that know how to run campaigns, not stand there, but actually run a campaign? Let me ask a question. You know any black people that have ever done polling?
Go to the poll and work.
No, polling see, that's my point. And I'm not saying it in a bad way. I'm saying it as just like that. Like polling, i.e., this is the messaging that works. We're going to do a survey and we're going to inform our campaign over polling. You know how we go to campaigns? We just hope. We don't test any messages. We say, this is what we think. This is what we feel. But I guess my question is, if we don't have anybody black that knows how to do polling or a black polling agency, do we always operate at a deficit when we know that if you're on the white team say, here go your, or the Chewy team says, here goes your poll. These are the 3 messages. This is why your alderman is going to, if you say these 3 things, this is what's going to make your people resonate. Ruthie, Can I tell you something? I'm going to tell you a secret. Until this last campaign cycle, I never did polling. I mean, I saw polls, but I never did it. I never knew how to do it. I never knew what the process was. And so I would always wonder, how do these white boys always come over here and be bodies? Why do they spend so much time polling? You know why? Because it works. Ruthie, if I were to tell you that if we looked at the Steele campaign and looked at the poll, if the money would have been there, the campaign, everything that the poll told us was there. But if you don't even know that exists, right? And if you got to stay past 5 o'clock to learn it, who we got? Let me ask you a question. Right now, we know that the progressives have now come together, and you have the David Orr group, and you have the David Orr group, and you have the Chewy group. And they have come together and formed an alliance, right, to be progressive. And if you look at the family tree of all the people that are elected right now, right, and if you think they won't encroach, no shade to Jonathan, but they know that they know that we're incapable. And if you, Riis, if you got a chance to be on a winning team or a losing team, do you go, and you want to be an elected official, if you black right now, why would you come to anybody black for help? Who can help you? Who black can help somebody black right now? I think the biggest gamble, the biggest race that we thought that we saw, the Secretary of State could not get the girl over the hump. What we get from black people when it comes to support is how many black people can you raise money for? If I asked you for $10,000 for a fundraiser, how many black people writing $10,000 check to a black candidate? Now, I tell you what, if the mayor if Mike Madigan call you and tell you write $10,000 check to some white candidate, they'll do it. But you ain't seen no black person writing no $10,000 check to nobody black. Who are the black fundraisers? So check this out. The black candidates can't even we have to give even the black people in power, political power, have to give over to the white folks because we don't have nobody to do it. Who is the black fundraiser? Who raises? So let me check this out. Who is black and is a fundraiser? So now check this out. If every time you got to go to get money, you have to go to a white underling, somebody less than you in rank, but they control your economic fate, guess what? They walk around talking about you like you they employ. It's amazing to watch how black people respond to white people in power as compared to black people in not power, because you will empower a white boy in your neighborhood before you empower a black person. And then if you try to empower a black person and hold them to some level of accountability, then you're toxic. But I guess my question becomes, how do we build a political infrastructure? Where is our black talent pool? And then you got to think, if you're a black lobbyist, you really can't take no real position. Because if you take a real position, then it might hurt you with the people that you got to lobby for or your client. Do you think it's easy for me to be a lobbyist and to talk the way that I talk? It's a reason why everybody's so quiet. Right? It's a reason. It's the reason that white folks can take the fact that I'm a lobbyist and then beat me on TV with it, but all of them can still do the same thing and use that as a tool to finance. They'll cripple you. Who do you have? Let me ask a question. Is there a list of black field directors? Who's not and I'm saying this because we have a lot of black people that show up that want to be on camera, want to be on the stage, want to be with the candidate. But when it's time to do the actual work that nobody sees, that is no fun, we don't have it. Now, I'm going to tell you, they're having a challenge finding it for white folks. If you read the article from Speaker Welch, they said that this last campaign cycle was one of the hardest campaign cycles because there was a human resources problem. When Madigan took his infrastructure, he took his infrastructure. We have nothing. And so what we find ourselves is bouncing around, because if you rely on a black person, you got to know that black person doesn't have the experience that you need. Because guess what? I've never showed, no, Ruthie, as long as I've been in the game, I never saw a poll. I didn't even know, I knew where to go get one, but. So now you have an underdeveloped staff that you put in front of our campaigns to make you dependent on white people who, if you don't listen to if you say, bro, that's not right. If they find out you can read or count, they'll go revert to being white again. Where, people, is our black political infrastructure? And see, what they also do is they'll attach themselves to you. Remember I was telling you about all these white people that's taking pictures now? Mm-hmm. They taking pictures of of them with black people so that they can continue, so that you feel comfortable enough to trust them. But they really, I have come to the recognition that if a white person thinks that they cannot control you, they will try to destroy you. And that is the situation that most black candidates find themselves in. And because we have not our own political infrastructure, because we've allowed our leaders to kill our children, kill our resources, kill our future in the cradle. Can I ask you a question? Where is the black army, political army that leaves from Tony Preckwinkle's tenure as the president? Or will we be left? Who are the black people that we can count on after the Cook County party turns over?
I think we have the reason, because the black political staffing infrastructure is so messed up, it's not enough consistent work for black people to take the chance. So you ask where the black people at, well, they working 9 to 5s generally because they need a consistent check. And so I think because our infrastructure ain't so good, it's like it's literally you taking a chance. After this ends, is there going to be work? Is there going to be work for me? Or do I need to keep my 9 to 5 and just do this on the side, which is what generally happens because the work is not consistent enough. Our infrastructure is not consistent enough for you to say, hey, I can guarantee you this job after you do this. So it's kind of like it puts black people who want to work in the field at a disadvantage. So you got to join up with somebody. Because if you join up with somebody, at the very least, I'll have me a 9 to 5 after this with some insurance.
That's interesting. I was thinking about the black chances I took. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. So I would challenge you. It's funny because I was looking at the mayor's D2s. And I was looking at ours. And I was looking at all the D2s. And I was looking through to see how many black people actually worked. Right? Besides having to take who are the black campaign staff? And again, I just don't feel like we can really trust our campaigns in the hands of white people. Not honestly. Because again, they have a level of entitlement when it comes to dealing with black people that makes them say, if this nigga can read or count, I would rather destroy it than be a part of it. And so my question becomes, how do we build the infrastructure that allows us to not be dependent on white folks for black political success? Because can I tell you the crazy part is, then when the white people win, They got a better relationship with the black candidates than they do with black people. Right? So now the white person gets to claim your win, and now you forever indebted to them because they don't ever want to grow your children. They want your children to be on the plantation. They want you so they can keep making money. Because if you ever learned how to do it, then guess what? They would be they wouldn't have a job. But what they do is they make a killing off of our lack of infrastructure.
The challenge is that either the model has to come from the top down or from the down up to the top. If you look at what Chuy Garcia did, they invested in they people from the bottom, and now they at the top. But in black politics, stuff don't trickle down the right way. And so now we out here barefoot.
And the black people, the funny thing is, it's like the black elected officials fear their youth.
Because think about it, it's the lack of succession planning. It's because it's like you competition, and it's just a dog eat dog world out here, especially in politics. But there is a fear of getting your spot taken by somebody younger. But and I think part of it is that whole, let me just lie in. I'd rather lie in state. I want some honor to lie in state, but it don't seem very honorable to me to go out like that.
Here's my biggest thing. With 473 signatures required to run for alderman, it's a lot of progressive white folks who've been taking a lot of pictures with a lot of Negroes a little lately. And while y'all sit around those people and they be ha and kiki like they your friend, you will look up and recognize that the white folks that you've been walking around City Hall with are plotting your demise.
Mm.
Right? Like, y'all, we allow these campaign operatives, these white campaign operatives, to control our futures. Can I ask a question? This is the thing I would ask you. So for every campaign, every white consultant that has a black candidate, do you have any black staff? Right? I was just going through the D2s and I realized who black gets hired unless you pass out flyers? Who black gets hired to do media? Who black gets hired to do social? Who black gets hired to do the things that allow you to be sustained? I watch white folks make so much money during campaigns that they can sustain themselves to the next campaign.
Exactly. So they don't need 9 to 5s to undergird themselves.
Well, what they usually do is they take that campaign win and then they go translate it into economics, whether it's at city council
because they
or it's at
ecosystem work together. With black people, you literally are taking a chance. You're taking a risk.
Because you can help a black person and they'll be like, you should have did that anyway. White people, they be like, oh my God, thank you for coming to my neighborhood.
Or the black infrastructure just don't got the resources to support you. If I volunteer and work on your campaign and I'm just, volunteering, can I get a job afterwards?
If you win.
But I'm saying, sometimes black people don't have the resources. So things don't trickle down the right way. Because I already took a L. I'm already in a deficit from volunteering. Whereas you looking well, that's what you should have been doing. It's like our whole infrastructure is messed up. Right. And I honestly can't see it getting right. The only way that I can see it getting right is it's either got to come from the top down, or there has to be a movement of people that are willing to work for free with the hope that they can get something in return.
Or there has to be people that are concerned about their collective outcomes that they can't get paid for. And I'm not saying that that's so let me back up. I believe that there is the possibility to create the infrastructure, but we have the people in place who have learned to bet against black instead of on black, right? And I'm going to be honest with you. I did a lot of betting on black only to be failed. But then it becomes things like BP1 that make you say, like, man, there is hope. But I just need for y'all to understand that I don't know if you were to talk to all of the black candidates right now, not their ward office staff, but their campaign staff. That is how Madigan and the Madigoons and all of them became powerful, because they know you ain't got no infrastructure. So they supply you the infrastructure. All you got to do is show up. God help you if you know how to think account, though, because then they be like, stop talking. It's the Mace Jackson Show. Look, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, I don't know. I want to talk about people of color becoming Republicans at historic rates. It's the Mace Jackson Show. We'll be back after these messages.
The Mace Jackson Show will be back after this break. Mace Jackson.
Uh-oh, what's in it for the black people?
I want to know, is there an offensive black people list? Who manages it, and do black people have to honor?
Maze. You're Uncle Tom. That's why you're an offensive. And the reason why you're Uncle Tom is the real story of Uncle Tom. How he worked for his freedom, and then the slave master reneged on him and wouldn't let him get his freedom. So you know what he did? He left. You're messing with the church's money. You were smart enough to work your way off, so you offended the white folks, and then you offended the black folks because your ass left, and because they wouldn't. And who manages the left is both black folks and white folks, because if you see in that situation, the black folks is just as mad as the white slave owner that Uncle Tom left.
What happens if you say that and someone gets offended?
You ran off the plantation, brother. That's why you're offensive. That's all I got, bro. Keep being offensive.
Thank you.
Mace Jackson. And now, traffic and weather.
Today, the Biden administration is releasing what it calls a new strategy to fight domestic terrorism following a 100-day review.
Good morning. What's happening for the Black People Media family? The time is now 8:37 a.m. I'm Riis the Ruler with your Chicagoland area traffic and weather report. On the Kennedy, overhead to the Loop is now 31 minutes. Outbound is 27. On the Edens, Deerfield to the Exchange will be 39 minutes. Exchange to Deerfield will be 35. On the Eisenhower, Thorndale to the Loop, 38 minutes. 33 minutes to Thorndale. The Stevenson from I-355 to the Dan Ryan, 47 minutes. Outbound, 33. Bishop Ford, I-80 to the Dan Ryan, 34 minutes. 26 minutes to I-80. On the Dan Ryan is 17 minutes to the Loop, 13 minutes to 95th. On DuSable Drive South, 55th to Jackson, 15 minutes. Jackson to 55th, 8. The north side is 8 minutes. Today's weather, it is currently 75 and sunny. Today will be a high of 83 with a low of 70. I'm Riis the Ruler. Here's terrorism on the Mace Jackson Show.
Media is the culprit when it comes to the comparison. Cause when it comes to race, they always changing up the narrative. It's terrorism. They say you a patriot, call you a hero. I call it terrorism. And that's on the real. You know and we know, I say it's terrorism. They say you a patriot, call you a hero. I call it terrorism. And that's on the real. You know and we know, I say it's terrorism. They say you a patriot, call you a hero. I call it terrorism. And that's on the real. You know and we know, I say it's terrorism. They say you a patriot, call you a hero. I call it terrorism. We still out here trying to get our reparations, but the government pump faking out here hesitating. I'm out here trying to keep my peace, so I keep meditating. The media make us look bad, they taint our reputation. Look, it's so sad that COVID causing toe tags. You claim you so patriotic, but you ain't wearing no mask. You out here wilding with your MAGA flags and showing your ass. You wanna be part of some type of revolution so bad. Look, you talk revolution and constitutional rights, homie. I guess we forgot about back in the days when all of the business was whites only. Yeah. George Floyd got justice. Juneteenth got much respect. They made it a national holiday. Man, it's all good, but cut the check. They're giving out all of these vaccines, putting it in you like caffeine. Was it all in a part of the plan? I bet money like DraftKings. It's land of the free, home of the brave. 1776, we wasn't free till 1865, so we wasn't part of that shit. And that there's terrorism. Terrorism.
You are listening to the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson, and it is terrorism. Ruthie, I'm going to start this new segment, but I'm going to read this. Is it okay if I read it out loud to you? All right. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker delivered a fiery speech to Florida Democrats Saturday in Tampa, equating Governor Ron DeSantis to former President Donald Trump and condemning the national GOP on issues related to abortion and guns. Most compelling, Pritzker wove together the horrific moments of the recent Highland Park mass shooting that killed 7 people and orphaned a 2-year-old boy to his family's backstory and how he was inspired to create the Illinois Holocaust Museum. I can't stop thinking about Aiden, Pritzker said of the boy who lost his parents. I can't stop thinking about how he will be forced to navigate life as an orphan. I lost both of my parents before I turned 18. Let me tell you what it means to navigate as an orphan. It means that you are always stalked by ghoulish anniversaries. Their birthdays are no longer celebrated, but instead mark another 52 weeks that a parent has been gone. It means growing older while your parents never age. It means never knowing them as adult, never crossing the Rubicon from being a child to being a friend. It means approaching with unnatural guilt the day when you've lived longer than they did. It means going through every joyous life milestone, graduations, big birthdays, weddings, promotions, with an empty space beside you in a picture, a sense of being robbed. Gary Fineout, Politico's Florida playbook author, interviewed Democrats who listened to Pritzker's half-hour-plus speech. We saw a future president, said Christian Ulvert, a South Florida Democrat consultant who attended the dinner along with roughly 1,000 Democrats. That was one of the best Democratic speeches I've seen in a while. Pritzker attacked DeSantis for his handling of COVID-19 without mentioning his own family having spent time in Florida during the height of the pandemic, to the GOP's governor's battle with Disney and his support of the parental rights in education bill that prohibits teachers from leading classroom lessons on gender identity or sexual orientation and has been dubbed the Don't Say Gay bill. You see, Ron DeSantis is really just Donald Trump with the mask on, Pritzker said. He's trying to pass off his covert racism, homophobia, and misogyny as a more reasonable form of Trump republicanism. Pritzker also took swipes at former Illinois Governor Bruce Rauner and billionaire Ken Griffin, both of whom have relocated to Florida in the recent years. Rauner and Griffin claim that they don't come from the Donald Trump wing of the Republican Party. Instead, they would say that they're DeSantis Republicans, which is a little bit like saying you were never been a fan of Darth Vader, but you support the empire's political agenda. Republicans criticized Pritzker ahead of the speech. If I had $1 for every Democrat that's escaped their poorly run state to come to the free state of Florida, I'd have enough of J.B. Pritzker's mansion in I'd have enough to buy J.B. Pritzker's mansion in West Palm Beach, Republican National Committee spokesperson Julia Friedland told Time Out. Democrats, though, savored Pritzker's every word. They liked his focused message designed to blunt shots from Republicans and for calling on Democrats to be more forceful with their criticism of political opponents. As Pritzker said in his speech, Democrats can't find success in watered-down mishmash of politics. That's the best speech I've witnessed in my life, Donald Uhlfelder, one of Democrats running for Attorney General, told Time Out. I would love to see that guy debate Ron DeSantis. I want to juxtapose that with the headline that ran in CNN. Did I lose it? That essentially said that people of color are becoming Republicans at historic levels. Now, Ruthie, that headline jumped out to me compared to what J.B. Pritzker was saying, because sometimes I think where we live, we have a jaundiced view of what's really going on in the world. But it also jumped out because, I don't really do too many people of color stories. But I thought that this was interesting because it is a people of color story that worked exactly in reverse of how Democrats have used it in the past. People of color has come back to bite Democrats because they say that right now the gap between, so when you ask the question, if elections were held today, would you be more likely to vote for Democrat or a Republican? The closest that number has ever been in history was in 2004, and it was at 40%. 40% of people of color, black, white, Asian, Latino, and other, Native American. The closest it's ever been has been 40%. Well, now it's at 35%. But guess what they attribute it to? What was you reading to me about this plan for Chicago? They attribute it to less Democratic vote, less black Democrats, and more they call them Hispanics. More Hispanics voting Republican. They say that the black number has dropped and that Hispanics, Asians are tending to vote more for Republicans, which is odd to me considering it seems like this seems like a depreciating argument all the way for me. I never understand why Democrats are trying to are putting all of their weight on undocumented immigrants when the people that are voting are not.
Not for long. You got to shore up your future. It's a numbers game. It's a playing chess, not checkers. Because even if they undocumented, you take care of them, and then you got they children forever.
But that's funny because that's not actually how, according to this poll, and I don't even see it working out that way now. I think we saw it in Texas, right? If you talk about that town in Texas that flipped from Democrat to Republican, they had always been a Democratic town, but they flipped Republican because they said the Democrats are talking about the immigrants that are coming over here invading our area. What you find is that the Latinos that come here, once they make it, they want to be American. They want to talk American issues. They want to talk about their self-interest. And it's just weird to me right now. I was talking about this story, Ruthie, because reading this from J.B. Pritzker, and he is going around the country politicizing what happened in Highland Park, I gotta tell you, I truly feel a kind of way. Now, do I expect that there will be white tears for black pain? No, I don't. But Ruthie, we have seen, since J.B. Pritzker has been elected, can we say 4 years, been 400 murders in Chicago every year? Was it 800? So he's saying 3,200 murders. And this is what he can't stop thinking about.
I mean, honestly, Maze, I ain't mad at him for looking out for his people. I'm not mad at him. If you are the governor of a state and you can't use your power to look out for people who are directly connected to you in a very personal way, then what good are you?
Ooh.
So I ain't really even mad at him. I just wish black people had somebody that could do that for us. That's it. I ain't mad. I'm not mad at J.B. Pritzker saying the Highland Park and marshaling in them federal resources. I ain't even mad at him because that's what he's supposed to do. Look out for his people that he stands side by side with. Like, he pray with these people. I'm not mad at him. These is his people.
So why does it seem so different for us?
Like,
why does it feel like we are convinced that we can, like,
because we just started being able to say black, and now when you look into city stuff, it does not stand alone anymore. It's connected to Latino, which is a step in a better direction to me than people of color, but it still does not do anything exclusively for me and my tribe.
We've gotten to the point where if we advocate, hey man, I'm just telling you, I still can't stop because the people who was writing letters talking about we can't advocate for our own self-interest, but you trying to tell me that you can spend the governor of our state can go. You're right, Ruthie. You're right. Right, you're right. I feel like you're right. You really are.
I don't want to be.
I think I think it's so amazing to me that black people cannot vociferously advocate for their own self-interest as politicians because it is dangerous.
It's dangerous. And our lives have been segmented. Like, you know how like our church and our politics are deeply connected together, which would be fine if the black church had a different control over the black community. But they literally, like, they pick us off in every realm. So the black church ain't even really controlled by the black church. It's really kind of controlled by politics, which we know we don't control. So if our communities and our systems work better together, then how can you literally not marshal in federal resources for people that you worship alongside of?
I watch it every day.
For people that you...
Tony Preckwinkle, what church do Tony Preckwinkle go to?
I have no idea.
She probably... I'm stop.
I have no idea.
So like my thing is, when do we see Tony Preckwinkle? When do we see show me a black elected official that said, we got to do this for the black people. And that goes to I'm telling you, when you sit in these rooms with these white people and they be like, you cannot, because half of them is prejudice as hell. 90% of them is prejudice as hell too. So they really don't like you talking about black. But this goes back to my point of his policy people are like, go. The black policy, who's the black policy person that says, here it is?
If it was, they probably wouldn't be in the spot.
I guess my question is, like, we can watch everybody advocate. Does he not sleep? If he gonna be the president, would he sleep differently if it was Buffalo? Right? Like, this is what I hear. Right? Like, when you make a statement like that, I can't sleep because I'm not tripping. You right. But is there anybody that told us they can't sleep because of Buffalo? Anybody? Like, who black spoke up? Like we at Bethune-Cookman celebrating a statue. Them people got buried in silence. How many people died in wasn't it 15? Did we see it? This is what I'm saying. When you can't see yourself reflected, I gotta. Why are you making that face?
Cause we ain't connected like that. Our community is not connected in order to have a true infrastructure. Like, that's why I'm not mad. But it's just like, let me tell you what's helpful. And this is where you come in, Maze. To let everybody know that when we seeing this stuff and our little spidey senses get to tingling, that we ain't crazy and we ain't tripping. And that's helpful. It's helpful. It's psychologically helpful. But then it's like, okay, now let's move into the action phase.
And my thing is, like, is there an action phase? Like honestly, somebody said this earlier today. Like, I can't be mad if you ain't mad. It's like, I be mad, and y'all be like, okay, it's Silver Room time. And it's like, when do the voters say, okay, enough? Right? Because it obviously doesn't hurt. Man, it's like the grocery store is open. Like, they didn't turn it into a monument. Well, but Tia, Tracy, I'm sure that they probably need to open it because it was probably a food desert. That's what happens to black people. Like, we got to be forced to live in our trauma every day. Like, where they gonna turn that in Highland Park and they got millions of dollars, and I said, well, something's gonna be a glorious monument of life and are beautiful. We got to go to the grocery store and you got to walk over the bloodstains. That's the same thing you got to do in your neighborhood, though. And my question who's the black Chewy? And look, somebody will say, we don't need no. Who is the next Richard Barnett? Who is the beacon to black independence? Because I'm telling you right now, y'all are linked. The black people in the Democratic Party, Cook County, are linked to something that is completely working against their self-interest at this point. You are now watching, and I'm just telling y'all now, you be mad. Pay attention to how many Toni Preckwinkle stories start to come out about all the inefficiencies in the office. Because now, after she's killed your children in the cradle, guess what? They got to kill her. They can't let her have another crack at it.
But see, the thing is, Maze, they don't necessarily have to, you don't have to kill something if it's already dying. You just let it die.
Yeah, I feel like, here's the thing though. I feel like you help it. Like, cause it speeds you to your space. Like what you want to do right now is you want to make sure that there is no option for Toni Preckwinkle to do the bill, to do the Jesse White. I'm gonna run one more time. So what you got to do now is start. Now, once you get past the thing and you got to compare. So now what all these stories are being fed to make her less credible so that if she thinks about running, somebody's going to use her vote totals against her. So now what you should be paying attention to is pay attention to how many stories are going to come out. Because now, even if you're a leader, because what do black people do once they get whooped? We saw Toni Preckwinkle do this the last time. They go on the Black Apology Tour. Right? But now they got to make it so she can't go on the Black Apology Tour. So she can't come back to you and say, save me again. And I just need for y'all to be paying attention because right now, you're going to go into a mayor's race with no institutional direction. No, like, is anybody saying, like, I'm not tripping on Mayor Lightfoot. Like, at this point, like, who's having the real value conversation? Like, I know I get on here and I talk smack about the mayor, but somebody's got to start sitting down saying, okay, where do we end on this?
No, it's not on we. It's I conversations that's happening. And as long as I land fine, I'm good.
But that is our problem. Like, Ruthie, the eyes mean that's why we don't have no campaign infrastructure. That's why we don't have the things that we need to be independent. So check this out. Even if you put up a black campaign manager, if you put up a black candidate, they probably not going to get a black campaign manager.
Where you going to get them from?
Right. That's my point.
And it's like, are you willing to take a chance on somebody?
So you take the salary. Like, I think, like, so here's my thing. I don't think it's the chance. I think it's the work. See, I feel like if you work and you win, like I've seen very few campaign managers not. But let's not even go there. I'm just saying, if you were woven into a structure, you should be leaving a job to come be political, to go back to the job.
Ding, 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 ding.
But you got to give all yours.
People can't take that chance. I need my 9 to 5 so I can keep my insurance because I got this car note, gas is going up. I can't take a chance because can you guarantee me that if this does not go well, that I'm going to be okay, that I can still feed my family? We don't really have the luxury. If I can make 50 bands in 6 months, then I can probably take a chance with not working a 9 to 5 to undergird me.
But the challenge becomes, do you have the skill set to make 50 bands?
I don't know.
Right. Well, see, that's my point. Like, and that's the difference. Like, so the 50 bands.
But see, I feel like that's going to always be the challenge. Is the top ain't gonna want to pay you because they don't feel like you good enough. But how do you ever get the experience if nobody takes a chance on you?
So I think that's the pipeline, right? The pipeline is you start as you work, but you also then go work on a campaign. Then after you've done well in that campaign, you work on a second campaign. Or you say, okay, we're going to take, because you're, like, I think most campaign stuff isn't really about whether you know it. It's about your willingness to learn it and your willingness to recognize that it don't end at 5 o'clock.
Also, but that's about your availability. Like, that's the piece that I feel like we don't want to acknowledge. Like, you have to be available. If I'm not available after 5 because I need to go home to take care of my family because I've worked all day, like, it's just, our infrastructure just ain't set up for people to be able to work for free. And it seems like if you want to come up in the campaign world with black people, you got to put in your time for free.
Or you have to work for them and then you move over. But I feel you. I just feel like but that's my point. We don't have fundraising. So if you don't have a fundraiser, right, then if you don't, like, again, if my man got $5,000 in his account, right, and he running, how that work? And then what you find is that then you have to this cycle is so crazy. But what the thing that makes me crazy is it leaves us at the mercy of white people who don't mean us it's like a never-ending circle. So we find ourselves in a place where we're stuck with white people who will cross you.
No, we find ourselves where all of our political talent and infrastructure are a part of the system because they need to get paid. We wonder why ain't no black campaign workers. It's because they got a 9 to 5 working for this government agency.
Usually if they work for the government agency, though, if they work for the government, then they really ain't coming to the campaign side, right?
That's where our talent be at, I feel like.
But you have to have a desire to do it. Right. And I think that, and part of the reason that people have become the campaign animal is a different type of person. The person that is a campaign, like, I'm going to tell you, I was on the campaign, I had a kid, and I was back at the campaign the next day. But it's a different type of person, right? It ain't cut out for everybody. So how do we find those people and program them and build them? I don't know. But what I do know is
the Chewy motto: leadership has to not be scared that somebody coming to take your spot. You got to invest in the people that's coming up next.
However, the Chewy model also was financed, right? The Chewy model was financed by a very large, got a big head start. And I just was thinking, like, where do black people, who cares enough about black people or is fearful enough of black people to invest until we get this piece together? I don't know which one it is. Is it the chicken or the egg? I don't know. But I know this. It's about to be 400. Huh? Okay, 473. It's about to be 473 votes to get on the ballot. So somebody better figure out some campaign infrastructure and some finance soon, or else we're going to be looking at a whole different city council. Look, y'all, this is the Mace Jackson Show. So for Maze and Riis and Ruthie and Todd, I am the host where did I say Todd? For Maze and Riis and Ruthie, where every single day we ask the question, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them. Maze said, we out of here. Peace.
Let's get down to business and go ahead and address the facts, man. Lightfoot seems more lesbian than black. Rahm Emanuel's another case. He was just as tired. 50 closed schools left much to be desired. Police had Anjanette naked on that body cam. They suppressed the footage so it couldn't touch a lot of hands. Reminds me of that 16 shots in that cover-up. Both of them similar, so I went and dug it up. George Floyd killed, a lot of riots happening in town. Southside burned and they wouldn't let them bridges down. Grandmother sick, need a prescription and plus a couple groceries. You gon' have to travel just to get it now. COVID-19 out here shutting all the business down. Not enough